Last time on Legends of Evantris Prime, the party had fallen through the forest floor of the Thornwilds, surrounded by these shambling fungal creatures that spewed spores and that were seemingly a charming, mind-controlling effect to them. The fairy dragon was horrified seeing these creatures, getting the sense that it may have recognized them given its previous state. It fled this fungal chamber. You dispatched with the fungal creatures, and you saw that there were tunnels going further into the earth, entirely overgrown with fungus, as well as all of the roots of these trees were covered in this thick yellow fungal substance that you didn't take much time to investigate. Before making your way out to find the fairy dragon and making sure it was okay. You made your way through the Thornwilds and you learned that it was not okay. As the competing Thornwatch led by a Cloud Dancer had ambushed it, slain it, not realizing that it had been healed of its corruption and had its head for the Thornwild hunt. You arrived back to a great party where you encountered the Thorn Mother. You encountered Ronmir, Annulin's brother, which it got very intense or tense, and realized that he is pretty much in love with Virea, Blooming Crown, or the Thorn Mother, and she has him wrapped around her finger. You also encountered the Warden. Warden Dark Crescent, who had come to talk to Vandris and revealed that overseeing the heart that was kept deep within the vault of the Watchers had taken a toll on her sanity, and she had seen the masked figure that they had mentioned previously in the chamber itself, and she thought that she was going crazy. With that, there was a great feast where it was announced that the plan to deal with the incoming fire giant invasion was to send the entirety of the Thornwatch at them head on, which seemed like a suicide mission, but these elves are very loyal and faithful to the Thorn Mother, and agreed to do it, which would happen a little after dawn on the following day. The party was adjourned. And the party made their way back to dwellings in the residential district called the Retreat, and they had a fine lodgings, but went into Sylvie's magnificent mansion, where Sylvie had in the discussions had received a hair, and not plucked it, had asked it and been given willingly a single platinum blonde hair, almost silvery white. From the head of the Thorn Mother, which she then used to scry on her one more time. And she saw the meditation chamber of the Thorn Mother, a chamber filled with all variety of fungus, and from deep within, as she finished meditating, a figure came out of the shadows, wearing the similar white and red robes with a mask of bloody tears, and this figure seemed to notice the scrying censer and dispelled it. Sylvie, you've just... your consciousness has been ripped back as the cauldron in front of you bubbles and fizzles out and stills. As your scrying spell is canceled and dispelled, you've just seen what I described, and you realize now that just in the time of seeing that, Orpheus is passed out on a nearby couch, as the four of you, or the three of your friends, await to hear what you saw.
Well, nothing like terror bad or anything, so she's just kind of there being herself, fake creature and all, and magnificent, beautiful, and all
that's
that.
good.
Yeah. And then, my scrying ended abruptly, so against my will, because, from this just strange dark cavern, that person wearing the bloody face mask, masked blood eyes, mask eyes, blood eyes, mask face, whatever I call them, they just, happened to walk out of a tunnel and then notice it and end my spell on me, so that's kind of where we're at.
You're joking. Is this a joke, Sylvie? This is not something to joke about.
It's not very funny.
Well, I'm gonna start joking and lying all the time if every time I tell you the truth you start screaming at me.
So you swear you're telling the truth? You saw a figure?
You know how you can always tell if I'm telling the truth?
No, I don't know.
There's a physical sign. Your stomach will tell you, and yours just made a burgle sound, which means she's telling you the truth. It's so inside of her tummy. I don't know if you knew this. There are tiny little fey creatures in there, and they'll communicate with you about all kinds of things.
In mine?
Everyone's.
Oh,
And Rodix just said
no.
she's telling the truth.
We'll have to come back to that. I'm scared. Why was she there? Or he there? Or what? They there?
I don't know.
That there?
It seemed like they were having some kind of a meeting or something. And whoever they are, they were like, I sent Sylvie. They didn't snap or anything. I know this orifice thing, but I did it for dramatic effect.
Well, at the very least, this confirms that Mirandris did see what she said she saw.
Yep, and it confirms it was a great idea to do this in the mansion and not inside of their home.
I think we need to go to the heart tonight.
To the gross, disgusting, beating heart that killed Lumi and almost killed Dobro?
Aye.
Okay, when are we leaving? Right now?
What if it's there? What if the masked person's there?
Then we find out who it is!
And we kill him! Do we kill him, or do we not know if they're bad or not? I'm just always jumping to killing things. That's probably not good.
That's probably not. But if you're on the up and up, why would you wear a mask? That's like for bad guys.
Clearly, they're trying to hide their identity.
Or what?
That's what the mask is for.
And they're advising Duke Rudo, and both sides of this war are being advised by the same person.
Well, we don't technically know that, is what I'm saying, because what if they're afraid of the light? You know how some people are scared of the dark? Not me or anything, but some people are. And so what you'll do is you'll hide away in places with lots of light. What if you're scared of the light, and so you just want to be behind a mask, so it's always dark on your face?
But they've got eye holes. They can see through it.
But it's covered in blood. Fake
That's
blood.
true. And I don't know why you wouldn't pick just like a nicer mask, like, you know, maybe they have a really disgusting, horribly disfigured face and they're just trying to look normal, but they chose not to look normal instead.
To Rodek's point, we have to keep in mind that there's some combination of one of these factions knows that this advisor is working for both sides, or neither does. Both have pretty severe implications.
So do you think that we should go talk to, Rosehead about Blood Eyes?
No.
Absolutely not. We discussed not
Do
playing
we
our cards
split
too
up,
early.
and we have one people's go to the heart, and one people's go to Rosehead and tell her about Blood Eyes?
I don't know.
No.
You said that
No.
Blood Eyes saw you and dispelled your scry.
Yeah, so if Rosehead knows about Blood Eyes and Dugrudo, then Blood Eyes will tell Rosehead that we were scrying. But if Blood Eyes hasn't told Rosehead that she's working or they're working with Duke Grudo, then they won't say anything for fear we'll tell Rosehead that Blood Eyes is working with Duke.
Can the scry even be traced back to you?
Well, I've only done it a handful of times, so I don't know.
Well, if not, then we're still safe for now, even though that's still information I wouldn't have wanted to give up.
She gave you her hair.
Yeah, but I didn't say, can I have your hair so I can look at you in the privacy of your own seclusion?
Why did you tell her you wanted it again?
Well, I told her that if she gave me hair, it would be a way for us to make a pact that I would tell her whatever she wanted to know or something.
Did you give her anything?
Nope.
That's not a very good pact then, is it?
Yeah, I know, but I told her something about information or something, which could bite me in the ass later, but whatever.
I think we may need
That's
to...
a problem for future Sophie.
What if they're
know what I
like
mean?
right outside the mansion and they know we're in here? They can't see the mansion. That's okay. But maybe they can sense it if they can sense your sensor. They can sense the mansion.
No,
It's possible.
but see, the thing is,
Poke your head out.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Rodek, poke your head out.
No, if they're standing there and they swing an axe or something, bob my head.
I get up and poke my head out.
Oh, you do that. Okay.
I'm scared.
So, Rodek, you poke your head out.
You holler for help if you see anything.
As you poke your head out of the door, suddenly the door materializes, and you stick your head into the sitting room of this very humble but very nice wood elf dwelling, and everything seems to be very normal. However, right by the front door, you see a flash of a glint of light from the candlelight catching on something on the floor. And as you look down, right by the rounded top of the front door, underneath, right by the slat beneath the front door, you see what looks like a letter, an envelope, with it stamped with a bright golden seal.
Is it okay?
Hold on.
And I'm gonna peek out and look around, listen. Can I hear like the guards talking out front? Oh shit. 7 plus, I think, no, it's more than 6. I think it's 8, so it's...
Not bad.
15? 15, yep.
15. You listen, and the dwelling that you're in the retreat sounds very quiet. You can hear very faintly the sounds of the sleepy evening, but it's not nearly as sleepy as you would expect. It seems as if many of these elves are probably more nocturnal than they are. What is the opposite word?
Diurnal?
Diurnal. That's what I was going to say. I don't want to sound like an idiot, though. Diurnal. And you hear people milling about, but very faintly beyond the door. But it doesn't sound like there's anyone barreling down onto your location.
I'm gonna walk up and snatch the letter.
You do that. You see.
He's out of my house.
Yes.
Should I lock him out?
No, absolutely not.
Are you sure? We can't see anything he's doing. What if there's someone out there that like body snatches him or something, and then the Rodek that comes in isn't our Rodek?
We'll give him an hour. If he comes back at any time
Vandris, you should
before...
go out now and check on him.
So what, you want to lose two people
Just
instead
give
of just
him
one?
a minute, please.
This is all your fault. You're the one that convinced him to leave.
Sylvie, you should go out.
You can get out of my house.
Oh! Okay, Vandris, you should go, but we'll tie a rope to you.
Just give him a few moments,
Do you want me
please.
to eject her because she's
I
very
walk in the
clear.
door with her.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you,
Are
Rodek.
you okay? Are you?
No.
And I'm going to build a cage around him.
I guess you can do that.
No, it's fine. Get rid of this.
No.
What
Someone
is
left
that?
us a letter.
I don't believe you.
I swear you leave for
Excuse
2
me.
minutes and then all chaos
Hold on.
breaks out.
Let me listen to the fairies in my tummy. They made no noise. Deceit. Who needs spells when you have fairies in your tummy?
I'm not totally comfortable knowing there's little things in there.
And you see now that the envelope isn't made out of any kind of paper or parchment. It's made out of
Flesh. Human
a leaf,
flesh.
like a green leaf that's been folded perfectly and crisply. And you
love
see
this
that on
writing.
one side in this shimmering golden ink of some kind, and it smells very floral. As you bring it closer to your face, and it says on one side, opposite of the seal, obviously,
Are you
to
smelling that?
the honored guests of Thornmother
Oh, he's
Vareya
reading it?
Blooming Crown. Or no, it's just
It's on the outside.
On the outside.
Rodek, or should I say, Fodek? Tell me one thing only Rodek would know.
Like what?
Nope, he's not Rodek.
What's your favorite thing in the world?
I don't have favorite things.
That's not true. I can think of Rodek's favorite thing in the whole
See, I told you, he's
I think we're all in
not him.
consensus.
Has any one of your stomach fairies gurgled or burbled or schmurgled inside of you since this imposter?
I did burp a
Shut
minute
up.
Now, I'm not
ago.
saying I don't believe that he's him. He is him. I just know
No.
that Rodek has a favorite thing.
What's his favorite? No, you can't say. What's your
All
favorite
right.
thing? I think I know what it is too.
I don't have favorite things.
Yeah, definitely.
You hear
know
Orpheus mumbling from the couch. He's in one of those drunken half sleep states. And he says, "You definitely have a favorite thing, Rodek." And he turns over and he tucks his feet up and
I'm going to read this letter.
No, because it's probably a spell. Oh, what do we do? What do we do?
And I'm going to make it like a full like a rock thing, so we can't hear anything that he says.
Rocks shoot
Like
up.
a stone cavern he's now trapped in.
Words have power, and if he just reads it and he's not him, we all know. He can't hear us, by the way. His favorite thing is Ramby. His favorite thing is Ramby.
Of course it is.
That was what I was going to say.
Again, that
good
is
call.
Rodek. I know that it's Rodek, and we need to read whatever is on the letter.
But what if it's
important.
words?
Well, of
Well,
course
can't
it's
we
going to be
check?
words.
What if it's death words?
So be it. We're
What
not
if
going to
it's
not
a
open
death
it.
note?
So be it. We're not
And all
going
of
to
a
not
sudden,
open
this
it.
strange dark fae with spindly fingers shows up and starts playing trickeries on us.
So be it. We're not going to not open it.
What if his name is Willem Dafoe?
So be it. We're not going to not open
While
it.
this is happening, I cast Identify in the letter.
You do that. How does that work?
If there are any spells, so it's not a magic. Well, presumably it's not a magical item. Let me know if it is. I also learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, I learn which spell created it.
You channel the power of Moradin, and with a flash of molten orange, you realize that you're just handing a letter. You're just holding a letter, and there might be a shimmering, magical glint from the ink, but it really is just to give it the shimmering glow and nothing beyond that. And I guess perhaps what you would get, because it's an identify spell, that you get this sense. Actually, give me an Arcana check at advantage because you're being assisted by Moradin.
Hot dog.
That is a 16.
16. You get the sense that the lingering magic from this feels does not feel to be that same magic that that Annulin, the druidic magic, seems to be of a more of an arcane nature, not that primal magic. As far as the shimmering glow.
So that's just the glow, but not the letter itself?
Just the ink. The letter itself is not magical. It's just except for just the ink, the bright golden ink seems to kind of just glow with a bit of magical charm. Just for the effect. And it seems to not be of the primal magic.
So
that
it's
you might
not a
expect.
charm.
Yes, it is not a charm. It is a glamour for the ink.
At least I can read in peace. So I'm going to sit in this like stone cavern. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to use thaumaturgy to like make my hand glow so I can read it. And I'm going to start reading the letter to myself.
You read by thaumaturgy light, grumbling as your hand glows, and you read, and it says, "Dear honored guests, you are cordially invited to a breakfast tomorrow morning with Thornmother Varea Blooming Crown, following her ceremony of sending off the Thornwatch to their certain victory." It says, "We wish you safe and pleasant dreams, as we have stationed our most watchful night warden owls outside your dwelling." And then it says, graciously, Thornmother Varea Blooming Crown. P.S. You are welcome to join me. Or you're welcome to join me at tomorrow's ceremony as well. But I would please ask that you prioritize our breakfast. I'm so looking forward to learning all about you.
Sylvie, can he breathe in there?
I don't know.
You better let him out.
How come?
Well, I think it's him.
He didn't know what his favorite thing is. I don't believe Vanders. I don't think it's him.
You know how Rodek is. He's like a gruff man, and I don't have favourite
Until-
things because that will make me a weakling, and my beard is bushy. That's like what he sounds like.
Until Ramby comes into play, and then he's like, "Oh, you Ramby, the biggest little Ramby in the whole world. You gonna carry Ramby?"
Yeah, but imagine if he said that, and then he'd go into baby talk, and he'd lose. He'd probably think that his beard would fall out for being a sissy.
No, that's not Rodek. You don't know him very well.
Either way,
He's
Annulin,
not-
I wouldn't worry, because a creature about his size, with that much, looking at the size of the thing, he'd have at least a day and a half of air before he suffocates.
Oh,
I should make it
How'd you know
smaller.
Well,
So we make it smaller and tighter around Rodak.
you have to know these things if you're ever, in my line of work. You never know when you're going to get bound and gagged and thrown into a river or in a trunk or something.
What do you do again? Were you being bound and gagged?
Bounty hunter.
Oh, that's right.
Was this one of the times you pooped yourself?
No.
Or do you only poop yourself on dates?
Well, so far as you know, on dates only.
That should be the name of your memoir.
What should?
And then I crapped my onesie.
All right, well,
A memoir.
I can promise you that I will remember that until I'm at least 650.
And the title sentence can start with, "It was the 4th time I'd crapped myself."
Well, the start of the book?
Yeah, because the first sentence has to catch the audience's attention.
All right.
And then the rest of the first page has to be so good that they want to turn to the second one. Otherwise, you completely lose your audience.
I'll be sure to jot that down.
It was the best of times, it was the turds of times.
You are both just full of wonderful ideas.
Sylvie, we should really let Rodak out. What if that led us to something important?
Well, for 1, it's probably a spell. 2,
What if
that's
it's not?
Rodak. 3, this is all your fault. 'Cause
What if it
you're
says
the one who
there's a
told
free
him to go
dessert
outside
bar and it's
alone?
happening right now and it ends in 10 minutes and by the time we let him out then the dessert bar is going to be done?
Well, you don't need to eat anything anyway.
But I could always have a little more.
I don't even know who you are anymore. You're talking like a chipmunk that I once met.
It's just all this healthy plant-based food goes right through me.
While
All of the fiber.
It is a lot of fiber and dirt.
Yeah,
It's a lot of dirt too.
I am going.
Stick of butter.
While this is going on, I'm going to stare at this stone prison that Rodak is in, and I'm going to point at the stone, and I'm gonna look like I'm concentrating very, very hard on the stone, and I'm going to say I'm going to blink, and as I blink, my eyes will turn arcane magic blue to match the color of my irises, and you're going to hear me just say, "Rodak, are you all right in there?" And you're going to hear me inside your head.
Vandrus, he can't hear you. He's in a rock.
I'm fine. I'm just waiting. Can you tell Sylvie to get rid of this?
Well, he's telling me that he's all right, and that he would like to be let out of his stone prison.
so you're trying to tell me I have a brilliant idea. I understand that you're talking to some eldritch being that has mind control on you. That's
What?
horrifying.
No, it's just Rodak.
But no, it's not. You don't have magic. You're just a dumb sword user. I know
That's
this.
not very nice.
I'm not. Yes, it is. Oh, sorry. No offense. Anyway, so that's just the case of it, right? So, but I do have magic, and Rodak wrote his name in my book. You know, my book made of human flesh. So I can talk to him in my head. So if I say, "Hey, Rodak, did I trap you inside of stone in my house?" and he says, "Yes," into my head, then I know it's him.
Oh, we'll do that.
I look back at the rock and I point to the rock again. I do the same thing. I believe Sylvie's going to send you a message.
What do you think, Vandrus?
I think that's a lovely idea.
Okay, cool. Hey, Rodak, did I just trap you inside a stone in my house and you got a letter in your hands?
Do I actually hear that, or did you write in the book?
No, you wrote my name in the book, or you wrote your name in the book, so I can. Oh yeah, I'll open my book and I write it down.
Oh, sorry, dude. My bad.
No, drop this stone prison.
It slides back in, the hole opens,
There we go.
and goes back into the mansion.
Rodak, are you all right?
There's a breakfast and we're being guarded by owls.
I told you
And I
there
throw
was
the
food.
letter
Did
on
we
the floor.
miss it?
Wait, a breakfast? What do you mean a
Alex,
breakfast?
No, we didn't miss it. It's
Oh.
she's inviting us to some
I thought maybe it was
special
like a
kind of
breakfast at dinner kind of thing, because I love that.
Oh, that does sound a wee bit nice. Maybe with some sausages and some
You know
bacon.
what? Do you know what my favorite breakfast food is?
No.
Okay, so what else does the letter say?
It says we're invited to a breakfast tomorrow.
Yep,
She wants us to come, the Thorn Mother,
yep,
and we're being guarded by owls.
yep.
Owls.
Oh, totally
Why?
expected that, yeah. But why?
To keep us safe.
From what?
Yeah, what are we not safe from?
Probably to really keep us in here.
Oh. We're not being guarded, we're being imprisoned.
Correct.
Oh. Well, that's just not gonna have to. Well, I don't know. We'll have to just get him out of here, or sneak by him.
Do we have a way to do that? I'm relatively tapped at this point.
Well, just hear me out here. I don't think it's wise to try to magically or otherwise slip out of this dwelling unnoticed.
Why not?
But, well, because I don't think that we really might. I don't think necessarily we'd have the tools available for us to do that. But, is there anything in the letter that says that we can't just go see the city?
I suppose not.
I mean, are we being detained here against our will, or are we being watched for and protection?
I want to reread the part of the letter that talks about the owls.
Basically, it's saying that you hope you have a safe dreams or sweet dreams and pleasant dreams, and that you are under the protection of the Thorn Mother and the finest of the Night Warden owls are stationed, so you can rest easy.
If we're just going out on the town and enjoying things, it might be a lot easier to give them the slip than simply walking out the door all invisible-like.
What if,
It's just an idea, of course.
how far are we from the heart now? Where is it?
Do we know how far from the...
You know,
Mark.
I would
Park?
say that from what you know, that the way that the city is laid out, that you're on the other side of the city. So the retreat is basically as far away from the vault as possible, as well as the basically there's the retreat, the palace, and so all where people are living is as far away from the vault as possible.
Here's the thing. We could act like, oh, we're going to see the town. But we're going to be followed. There's no doubt in my mind.
You know what we could do?
What?
We could pretend like Vandris and I were having a game. You know, the game of I'm better than you are, duh. And so in that game, basically what you do is you just beat each other up until one of you is better than the other one, duh. And so in this game, because Vandris has daggers or whatever, he could slice my stomach open. And then we'd have to rush me out because, oh no, Sylvia's hurt, she's dying, ah. And while they're rushing me to some kind of place to hopefully save my life, because that would suck. But hopefully they save me and then one of you can rush to the heart. Thoughts?
Well, so...
Is there?
I am a big fan of the classic sick prisoner. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and in this case, because a real smart one of us does have to be in a lot of pain, I think.
I'm just worried about what would happen to the wounded when they get you to wherever they take care of
What
their
do
sick.
you mean?
What if they
I
want you to
don't
die and they just make it look like they killed her?
Oh,
That's a good point.
yeah, that was
They
a
don't want
point.
to help you.
That was totes the point I had not considered. So, I suggest that we let Rodek be the sick person.
He's
think we
a
should
bit
stop each
hardier than
other.
the rest of us.
As a rule,
Yes.
as a party, I feel like we should not do that.
He's no stranger to me stabbing him either.
Couldn't we just feign like nausea or something like that?
Is that enough for them to let you out of here and then let us all out of here and then one of us
Well,
sneak
I
off?
think we need to do a little bit of reconnaissance.
Well, and that being said, the only thing that fixes nausea is Pepto-Bismol. And I don't know if they know the recipe to Pepto-Bismol, because that is that is an old family secret recipe.
From Bog Possum.
Isn't
Yeah,
it just all bees?
no, there's some pep, some O, and some soul in there.
Oh, got it.
They're mostly bees.
Mostly bees.
Mostly bees.
Bees all, right?
I'm pouring a tall glass of bees.
Yeah. And the great part about it is when it doesn't kill you, your nausea goes away. We haven't figured out if it's the time that you're healing from all of the bee venom, or if it is actually something that cures your nausea, but it works 80% of the time.
I like Vandris's plan.
What's this house that we're in? Is it up in a tree?
Yeah, so it's in probably more towards the mid-level of the tree line. There's a number of dwellings on the forest floor, and they go up into the tree. And so you're in a very nice, it's not like a mansion or anything. There really don't seem to be any lavish houses.
But we're like in a tree house.
Yeah, you're in like a tree house, and there's a lot of rounded architecture. It seems like a lot of this has been made with that same kind of plant magic that these elves.
Do we
seem
still
to
have our thingamajiggies?
You do. You are not separated with those.
I think that if you'd like to do some reconnaissance, doing it under the guise of us going to see the main promenade, or whatever they call it here in this wood city, we can easily take a look around. You have the best eyes of anyone I know. You should be able to pick out those owls no matter where we walk, while they follow us, whatever. We find out how many there are, and we figure out the best way to give them a slip, find a blind spot, something along those lines.
Were you just flirting with Annulin?
No, absolutely
you
not.
just said she has the best eyes.
You did say it.
Well, it's
Did
true.
you not mean it?
It's
You like
about
my eyes?
about
She's gonna
skill.
write
It's a
that in her
skillful
diary
skill
tonight.
thing.
I know,
I have
because
pretty
I
good
read your
eyes.
diary every
Rodak, we all know that you can't see 4 feet in front of your face. There's a reason I gave you the goggles.
Well, I mean, that's more for looking close up. That would be nearsighted or farsighted. What's the difference?
So the thing is that earlier today, Annulin wrote in her diary that she was really upset that you went on that date. So now I know.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't
you
believe
did.
that for a second.
I don't even have a diary.
Whenever I read your diary every night before I go to bed.
I don't think that's mine. I don't know what you've been reading.
That was amazing.
No, it doesn't happen.
So anyway, she's gonna sure write about that eye thing.
All right. Well, we need to be made. Do we know what time it is? Any idea?
It is very late. This is the same day where you woke up in
Right.
the ruins of New Amber.
It was midnight.
So,
now it's
yeah.
6 a.m.
So it is very, very
Well,
late.
if we're going to be doing anything, we need to make sure we get it done before breakfast. And quite frankly, I'd like to get at least a little bit of meditation in. Because who knows what tomorrow's going to bring when we witness the complete destruction of an entire city's army.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
It's not going to be fun.
Here's
No.
the thing.
Will it make it better if we say no offense after it starts?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's just worked in all other scenarios for me.
I think that we should just go outside, like you said, and call the owls down and say that we want some help finding something. Then at least they'll just reveal themselves and we can see where they go back up.
They might.
So I guess my fear, or my concern, or my thought is what's the point?
Well,
I don't know. Rodex is the one who wanted to get to the heart.
Well, there's no chance we're gonna get to the heart if we're being watched, so... Like,
Tend
we
to agree.
could say we're gonna go on a stroll, but it's not gonna happen. I'm sure it's guarded, and they're watching us. So, like, I'm sure that we could potentially convince them to let us walk around the city, but to what end? Because we've got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, and I'm not a Vandress. I can't just close my eyes and mutter myself for 4 hours and be right as rain. I gotta get my beauty sleep, or Baba Yaga's gonna turn me into a hag all day.
oh, no.
We may lose our chance if we don't go tonight. But it's a fair point. It's already late, and we need to be there in the morning, and we need to sleep.
And you know me, I'm a fan of chaos, getting into trouble and breaking stuff. But I also like to sleep, and I haven't read Annulin's diary tonight. Annulin, can you answer a question for me?
I'll try.
Why in the cover did you write, "This diary belongs to Orpheus Radamanthus"?
Oh, he can't even defend himself. What do I do? I was just being silly to throw you off my track.
I knew it. There's no way Orpheus could have such pretty handwriting.
Yeah. Silly circus freak. I don't know.
Anyway,
Well, if you really think we should just pass it up, but what if... I don't know. It doesn't seem like we should. It seems like we're sitting on our keisters waiting for something to happen, and we need to make it happen.
so you want to die tonight instead of tomorrow?
I don't know. I'd rather just not
You just want
die at
food.
all.
You're just hungry. You're
I'm
trying to
always
manipulate us to go. You were just like that chipmunk. That chipmunk tried to manipulate me into sneaking into my kitchen and stealing food out from under my dad's nose. I did it. Worked out for the chipmunk. Didn't work out for Sylvie. You were just like that chipmunk.
Well, either way, I would appreciate if we made some kind of decision. Because if we're not doing anything of any serious import tonight, I'm going to look around. It's not every day a high elf finds himself in the heart of the Thornwilds. I want to see the people, and I want to see the city. And I only need about 4 hours of rest.
Here's the thing. I think somehow we need to get into that chamber that the hunt's being held in and find out where these tunnels are leading, how it all connects. Until we do, we'll have no idea. But going tonight might not be the best idea. Perhaps we try tomorrow.
Yeah, when the whole city is in shambles.
Well-
Because the giants have taken over. And they're crashing through the walls. And everyone's dying and screaming. And they're all distracted. And then we'll be like, well, let's sneak over here and let's look into these tunnels.
Well, so I don't think it's going to be as extreme as that, but I think that Sylvie's exactly on point. I don't think that the giants are going to breach the walls. We're going to see many, many, many wood elves perish. But in the chaos, we could probably slip and find the heart.
Yay.
Where did you find that?
All right.
It was in the cupboard.
There's actually a quite lavish fruit spread that's been provided in your.
I was there the whole time, and I've just been bitching.
Well, you rushed right into the mansion. You didn't go into the actual pantry area, the kitchen area. And there are cups of berries and all sorts of plant-based items.
More plants.
Did you get Michael to get that for you?
Where's Michael?
Well, he keeps telling me his name's pronounced Michael, but I've seen the way it's written. It's Michael.
Stop it.
I'm going to bed.
All right.
I'm going to stop
Thunders,
off to my room.
If you want to go for a stroll, I'll go with you.
If you'd like to, I was only going to go for a few hours. I figure if everybody's sleeping in Sylvie's mansion, we should be safe. No need for watch. I'm not going to be very long.
There's no need to even watch you.
Unless you're doing like...
I'm not going to get in any trouble. I'm not
things.
causing any chaos. I want to just see something new.
I'll go with you.
You're welcome to. Are we all in agreement? Is it all right?
Just don't heist anything without me. That's kind of my thing. Just don't.
No. Orpheus.
Before I go to bed, let me just check something.
Okay.
I want to remove the chisel that acts as the divination rod towards the hammer of the forge or whatever, first forge. And I want to see if it's still pointing south. If we feel like it's...
So you pull it out, and as you place it down, it turns exactly not directly south, but probably south by southwest, or south by southeast, as it's glowing far brighter than it was when you first arrived in Naka.
So that direction is the direction of Svarog, presumably.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes,
it
it is.
glowing brighter means that
Okay,
they're
cool.
marching closer.
Correct.
Well, their plans haven't changed. All right. Now make sure you get your meditation.
Of course.
You need to be fresh tomorrow.
Like I said, I'm not out to cause trouble.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Sylvie.
Oh,
Do we
sorry.
get to-
Yeah. Good night.
Do we get to go on a heist tomorrow? It's been so long. It's been so long.
Go to bed.
I leave. I just leave. I just walk out.
No, go away,
You should
Dad.
put a bin near him.
I'm fine. And Orpheus just crawls up on the couch. He nestles himself even deeper into the cushions.
I want to cast Dream on Orpheus.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, how does that work?
Wisdom saving throw 21.
Wow, okay. Wiz, saving throw. No, he definitely fails, yeah.
I want to craft a dream where he is working at a circus and all of his favorite people are there with him. And he has his new magic, and we're there with him, and he's happy, and everyone loves him, and they're constantly telling him how great it is that he's becoming the hero they knew that he could be. And I want to make it like the best dream that he's ever had.
Wow, that's very surprising.
Where's the twist?
Yeah, where's
There
the
he is,
twist?
and he wakes up
When does
and
his
it's all
skin
ripped away
peel off
from
of
him.
his skull and then he bleeds out of every
his jaw
inch of his...
unhinges and all his teeth fall out.
And there's a plane crash and then a tidal wave.
And so I'm going to cast that, and then I'm going to, I'm assuming everyone else is out of the room or doing whatever. I'm going to do this after everyone's already left. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to tuck him in. I'm going to make sure his pillow's fluffed up, and I'm going to give him a kiss on his forehead. And I'm going to say,
I knew that one day you could become a hero, and I'm just so glad that you came back and you're a friend. And tomorrow's gonna be rough, pal, but I hope that you get the sleep you need. I love you. Good night.
and then I'm going to softly shut the door and prance down the hall to my room.
As soon as you cast Dream on him, all of his half awake, drunken mutterings just stop, and he finally settles into a very peaceful sleep. And with the help of as many of your spectral servants as you need, you're able to carry him very gently into bed, tuck him in. You see his pack is very tightly stashed besides the writing desk that's there. And he settles in and just kind of, and as he turns over, you see a very slight, soft smile come to his face, and he breathes easily. Probably the first time that you've seen him sleep this easily since you started traveling with him weeks or months ago. So you tuck Orpheus in, and he is sleeping peacefully, and he smiles, and you get the sense that you're able to. You know what at least two of his former circus companions look like, so you're able to accurately represent them and get a gist of the rest. But regardless of whether or not he believes it or not, he seems to be sleeping happily, not just peacefully, but happily.
Aww. That's nice.
Roger that. So as Orpheus, as the non-elves drift off to sleep.
I'm wearing dinosaur pajamas.
You do that, exactly right.
Of course.
Actually, I changed that. I would like to wear a frog onesie to sleep.
Okay, you do that.
I'm wearing a sheep.
Thank you, DM.
I'm wearing a sheep kigu.
Yes.
Yeah, roger that.
Sheep
Okay.
or a ram?
As
Well,
Do you wear a
is a
little
male.
bonnet on your beard when you sleep?
You like a full beard net,
Yeah.
like I'm working at the school cafeteria.
But it comes down to a point with a little like ball, and then it matches the little cap that you wear in your head with a little ball.
Yeah, like little horns, like little fluffy sheep horns.
Yes.
Nice.
Dig it.
So you open the door and you step out into this elevated street that you're on. You see that there are several ramps down to the lower level and to an upper level, where there's a variety of houses of varying shapes and sizes. They all seem to have that same architecture, and it's almost as if they're constructed from the natural realm itself, and all of these building materials have that same style. And you look around, and there's no guards. There's no guards immediately around you, but I'd like you to make a perception check, whichever one would like to. Or both of you can make a
When
perception
we
check.
walk out, stop railroading me and let me do what I want to do. When we step out, I want... Well, because it deals with perception.
Go ahead.
When we step out, I would want to like kind of a little louder than I need to be like in common conversation. I'll be like, "Oh, Vendress, where do you want to go tonight?" And I'll kind of yell it, and then like as I'm saying that, I want to like look for movement to see if anyone like
And I'm just gonna
turns
look at
their
her like this.
attention. Yeah.
Make a perception check, please.
That's
Oh.
amazing.
Do I get things in the woods?
I don't know.
Things in the woods. Yes, we all get things in the woods.
Yes, you get advantage because
Okay. You're in the forest.
27.
27. You look around and there is no sudden movement. You see that there's a number of you see that there's a number of animals walking around and they're keeping an eye on things. You see that same variety. But it seems as if and you see that the defense of the city, that you see the treants walking around, keeping an eye on things, these sleepless sentinels, it seems. And you see no movement, but you look up and you see on several branches above you that there's at least 4 of those very large owls with their shimmering eyes just staring down at you.
After she has proclaimed this in an unusually loud voice, and I'm kind of looking at her, I'm going to say, anyway, cool it. Just act normal. There's no need for anything like that.
I don't know. I was just trying to, well, never mind. Seriously though, where do you want to go?
I'm headed to wherever the main area is. I'd like to get a drink at a couple different bars and see the people and just take in the sights at night. I just want to enjoy it. I had a pretty rough day. I'd like to just have a little bit of relaxation time.
Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
There's not really much to talk about. Do you know where the promenade is? I didn't get to go. Mirandris didn't show me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could I direct us to the promenade?
Yeah, you know that as I forget.
Even if I can't, I'm gonna act like I can. So it might take the long way, but we're gonna
It's
get
fine.
there.
Yeah, I would say that
I can take you,
if you
no
haven't been
problem.
paying attention, you know that the Terrace of Nature's Bounty
I
is a
was
place.
paying attention the
Yeah,
whole
and he-
time.
he
that
pointed it out.
He
Grandpa
pointed it out, so you can
Grumblebarker
see that
was-
it's
You were the
actually-
only one paying attention.
It's actually a district right next to the retreat, and it's the Terrace of Nature's Bounty, and it has many of the restaurants, and there would be several taverns, and a lot of the food growing as well. Really is in this large district that's at all various levels through the forest.
My plan would essentially be to, when we get there, basically bar hop and get like a different drink at each bar and like just really try to take in the city a bit.
Yeah, you do that, and you're able to enjoy that. And you see that you might normally have expected perhaps members of the Thornwatch to be here enjoying enjoying a drink after a day's hunt or scouting, but there are none here. They're all preparing for the battle ahead. As you make your way through the city, there is a level of trepidation, almost excitement, as the word has traveled fast. The word has traveled fast about the coming battle. The following dusk, and you hear and people talking, and they're not sure. They're not sure if the Thorn Watch is strong enough to kill, to defeat the entire Fire Giant army. But everyone just has their trust in the Thorn Mother, and she knows best. And you might be approached by the occasional the people who recognize you, and they're really excited. And I would say you'd probably be able to get all of your drinks on the house just by kind of showing up and making yourself known. So you'd be able to drink as much as you care to, and people are really excited, but they stay respectful of your personal space. And that's what you are able to do throughout the evening.
I know I'm not from around here, but it seems unusually quiet.
I think everyone's getting ready for tomorrow.
Again, just from my experiences, you'd think that everybody would either be out here drinking pretty heavily, which means one of two things. Either they truly think that they're going to win, or they've been forbade from partying late into the night.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where the troops stay.
Neither do I.
Unless I do, I don't know.
You know that
Do I?
it's called the, what do I call it? The Den of Fang and Claw is basically where all of those the very large animals. That's where they rest.
Is that where like the Thornwild peeps go?
And that's
to?
where also the entirety of the Thornwilds, as well as a lot of the defenders as well. So you know that there's the Thornwatch, and then there's also the defenders of the city, and they're all stationed there. And there are guards of the city, and then versus the Thornwatch that are around. But you get the sense that most of the military might of the Thornwilds is the Thornwatch themselves.
They seem pretty, I guess, on lockdown here. I think they kind of get told what to do and when to do it. And judging by my brother, they all listen.
Speaking of which, good God, your brother. When the hell has happened to him?
I don't know. It's like she's turned him into a house pet.
At the end of all of this, we need to make sure we pry him from her clutches.
I don't know that he wants to be pried.
We're gonna have to make him see the light.
What could she possibly be giving to him that would make him want to stay there? Andrus, I just don't get it.
Oh, this drink is awfully strong. I'll take another, please.
Someone also pays for that as well.
Quiet night, this.
Well, yeah, I guess. Are you really upset about your date gone wrong?
Well, not upset about the date per se. Really just worried more about the warden.
And I'm worried that you're worried about the warden. You don't ever really seem to be worried about anything.
Well,
You must really like her.
full disclosure,
I'm listening.
started off as just another conquest, just to see if I could do it. She seemed very icy. But then when we talked out on the terrace, she is an extremely haunted woman. I don't know what the hells she's seen, but she's deeply, deeply troubled. And quite frankly, I didn't want to say this to Rodek, but I'm worried. If we leverage any kind of relationship that I might have with her to get into the heart, we're putting her at risk. And she's already wagering far more than we could ever possibly imagine.
I think you're right, and just the fact that she told you any of that is a really big deal.
She took her helmet off.
What's she look like?
She's beautiful,
That's nice.
but she is worn down from whatever she's had to face and burden all of these years.
Oh, like a flower wilted in the sun.
I was just hoping for one night she could get away from her post and do what we're doing now. But she refused.
She's at the heart now.
I'm not sure.
Maybe she'd see you. You could bring her some flowers or something nice.
I don't want to be suspicious.
I don't think it's suspicious. You like her.
I'm worried that any additional attention from us, she might not survive this ordeal.
Well, if there's anything that I can do to help protect her, I will. And I won't tell Rodek what you said. I'll leave that up to you. And we can have a secret between us, like friends.
I appreciate that.
Sometimes I don't really think you like me.
What? I like everyone.
Since we're being honest.
What is that supposed to mean?
So cute.
I've never been mean to you. I mean, except for that one time that you took my pickpocketing tools and then upstaged me in front of everyone.
I'm really sorry. I didn't know it was going to go so well.
I didn't either.
I won't do that again either.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Quite frankly, it was pretty impressive.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm glad we came out tonight and had an elves out on the town. I feel very close to you now.
Well, I'm glad, and likewise.
Do you ever feel better than other elves because your ears are longer? point to you. You don't have to say it. That told me all I needed to know.
We should probably be getting back.
Sounds good.
You make your way back and enjoy the quiet walk back. And once again, it's incredibly late, but you see that it's not a wild, uproaring town, but many people are going about their business. You see that as you make your way through the terrace of nature's bounty, you see that these tenders to these large plants and fruits that feed the entire city, they're hard at work in the middle of the night as well. And you make your way through, and you see, looking up in the trees, those same owls just sitting roosted, keeping an eye on you as you make your way to the door, but no one stops you. And you
would we on our way back have passed the claw?
No, that's on the other side.
Other
of
side,
of
okay,
the city.
never mind.
Yeah. So you are able to make it back and get to the mansion and meditate. And unless there's anything else, you all enjoy a long rest as you rest up.
I love taking long rests.
Oh, I feel so rested.
Yeah, I feel so long. Let long rest last.
Long in the tooth. Oh, I should probably long rest and prepare my spells.
Yeah, you awake.
Nothing important's gonna
You
happen.
all awake. Nothing. Maybe a little bit anxious, just given everything that's happened, and just this. There's a tenseness in the air, and even though the people are going about their business, you can see that there's a bit of worry, but comfort in the certainty of the Thorn Mother and her wisdom. Especially you guys who went out on the town would have experienced all of that, and you also probably would have heard that a bit of bravado and overconfidence in the abilities of the Thorn Watch, and people saying how they're the greatest warriors in all of Karkinos, on all the continent, at the very least.
So we're awake.
You're all awake. You're all able to gather for breakfast, however you'd like to do it, and discuss your plans. Morpheus is definitely sleeping in.
Rodek,
Okay.
did the invitation mention where we need to go?
It did, right? The
Yes.
part.
So, you know that, and I would say that you've woken up early enough to decide if you want to do this. But basically, that the direction that I'll just say that the Thorn Watch was being seen off at the den of Fang and Claw, and that the breakfast is going to be held in the gardens of the Hall of the Summer Rose, the Palace Gardens, a private dinner with the Thorn Mother.
And one would happen before the other?
Yes, so she's going to be seeing off the Thorn Watch on their great mission, and then returning to the palace to enjoy breakfast with all of you.
I think we should go see the troops off.
All right. Can't think of a reason to disagree.
We're just gonna let them all march off and die.
I don't see at this point what we can do.
I could hardly meditate last night.
We might have one last chance to save Ephora and her troops. Maybe we can convince her that if things are going really south, that they run away.
I don't think they do that. They seem very honorable and I just don't think that she would want to run away. Make her feel weak.
We can instill some doubt in her. Doubt's very powerful. And either way, it's not going to be good.
I wish there was some way we could help and I don't know. I mean, I've got this bow here and it's just literally screaming in my ear to kill giants.
We may still have our time, unfortunately. But there's nothing we can say to convince an entire army to disobey their queen. It can't be done.
Our hands are pretty much tied.
So at the very least, if we can save a few of them, with a wee kernel of doubt, if things start going south, maybe...
Is there some way that they could, like, signal us, or... I don't know.
So at this point, Orpheus joins you, and he actually seems to be pretty well rested. There's a bit of a chipperness and a bit of a skip in his step as he makes his way over, and he flags down some breakfast, and he gets his coffee, and he drinks it, and he...
Don't spoil your appetite. We're supposed to go to breakfast with the Thorn Mother.
Well, I mean, I got a pregame. A little bit. I mean, this is our only chance today to get meat. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good point.
That's a good point,
I'll
bro.
join you.
Thirded, actually.
3 dozen sausages, please.
There's meat in here?
I'll have some sausage, I'll have some bacon, I'll have some hash browns.
Disgusting.
Are you making sure to let Michael know all the things that you need?
Is Michael the servant, the invisible servant?
I thought it was like Crumb or
Oh, it's
something.
from the meat.
Which one? There are 100 here, and I know all of their names.
I've just kind of been shouting things into the void, and sometimes they appear.
What are their names? You know all 100?
Yeah.
Go on. List them.
Lubis, Melfinky, Tarleton, Hadelweisen, Mooch.
There's 5.
That was only 5.
There's 95 left.
Yeah, no, you want to know all of them?
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, Tan, Boogan, Fudwhacker, Pinktron.
I don't believe you. Spears a sausage with his fork and eats it. But you know, my compliments to Fudelwacker. And he takes a heavy sip of coffee as he eats his meat and says, well, I know how to have just enough room to eat all of the plant stuff that will be served, and that it is enough that it'll be polite, but I'll leave some on my plate so I don't look like I'm ravenous.
How are you feeling this morning?
You know, I'm actually feeling really well rested. I haven't had any... I didn't have a dream after, you know, the whole violet flame, and you all kind of didn't kill me in my mind prison. I don't know how that worked. But, you know, I had a really nice dream, and I just feel really well rested, so... I feel good.
I think that Chateau Sylvie has an effect on people sometimes.
I know it's honestly, it's like we never left Gohaven.
Outside of gnome wedgies, there's nothing that can hurt you here.
That's true. Maybe I'll stay
But
here
you
a couple
know,
nights. Let you guys do the adventure.
A gnome wedgie is much better than a veggie wedgie. You can't trust vegetables.
I agree. That's why I have this plate of meat.
Okay, cool. You were saying keep going.
No, I think once we finish this plate of meat, and while I'm eating sausage, I think we should try to get down there as quickly as we can. If we can have any alone time with the Thora. Her name's Thora, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm ready when all of you are.
Let's go.
All right, that's enough. Let's go.
Okay, goodbye, Cabine.
Yeah, I mean, you guys we're gonna case the vault, right? I don't remember much from last night, but I think I heard talk of a heist.
What? No, we're not going anywhere near the vault. Are you crazy?
We're gonna steal the heart?
No.
We're going to investigate the heart. We're not going to steal it.
We're gonna break into a prison? Into a vault?
No.
That is kind of my thing.
As soon as we leave this house, there's no mention of it.
It's a mansion, not a house.
This mansion?
I'm just saying.
There's no mention
That's
of it.
kind of my thing.
We're going to keep an eye on it.
It's gonna be a good day.
We have a contact. We're going to see what we can do. Don't
Fine.
screw this up.
I'm not.
And don't steal anything.
I mean, we're only going to steal what we're going to steal. There's probably nothing there that could help me or... I don't have any plans. Our plans. Nothing to steal.
If he takes anything, you give me permission to kill him, right?
No.
Remember the last thing you took?
Which
Or maybe
one?
not the last. The one before the last, when you got shoved in a bottle.
And we saved you?
And I said, don't you take that. And you did it anyway.
It was very...
Don't do that again.
It was very earthy. I like... But I almost got eaten by a Dow, didn't I?
Just don't screw this up.
Okay, you all lead. You remember how well I did yesterday in blending into the background? It's like they didn't even realize I was there.
I want to do murder.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Orpheus is definitely tempting me.
It's not murder if it's self-defense.
Who do you want to murder?
Bad people.
Bad people, yes. But we'll cross that
I guess
bridge.
that's not...
I'm sure it'll be fine. We're not going to get into trouble. We're going to listen to Rodak.
Let's hold off on all of that and let's just go
Okay.
have breakfast.
Put a pin in the murdering.
Aye.
I want to steal.
I open the door.
You open the door to the mansion, and you see that through the front door and the windows, as if the entire house that you've been staying in is like completely overgrown into vines and leaves.
It's new?
As you look through the window, you see they're now completely covered in leaves and vines that are draping down.
Oh. I really had a bit of a growth spurt then, didn't it?
That's a wee bit weird. Is it normal? Is it like wood elf stuff?
I mean, we saw how quick the plants grew out over that town. Maybe...
But that wasn't a good thing.
Oh, you're right.
Well, we still...
Well, growth tends to be a good thing, right?
Maybe it's just like a little bit of... I don't
I
know.
did a sex once with a guy, and he didn't have anything, and then when it got good, it appeared. So I've just kind of been under the assumption that growth is good.
Except for when it isn't.
Let's go.
You're
Open the
always
door.
weird about the sex thing, aren't you, Rodak?
Just unnecessary.
You
Okay.
open the door, Rodak, and before you see
Wait,
just...
how did dwarves procreate
Yeah.
then?
How do you make little baby dwarves?
Let's go!
You almost walk into an absolute thicket of leaves and vines, and you hear the cracking and creaking of wood as you hear a rumbling voice. Oh, you're awake! As you see ancient Cragglebark stand up. He had been leaning down, and all of his hair and beard have been covering your windows and doors, as if he was trying to eagerly await your presence. As he leans back and he says, "How was your first sleep in Maka?"
Good morning, Fraggle Rock.
That's my father's name. Call me Cragglebark.
So are you free tonight around 11:30?
I am here to escort you to
Oh,
the ceremony, to the unwise military operation. I mean, certain victory.
Well, lead the way, please. We don't want to be late.
yeah.
And then I'm to escort you to your delightful and pleasant meal with the Thorn Mother. What a tragedy. I mean honor.
I love pleasant things.
Me too. And he
How I know
stomps
we're
off.
meant to be together.
He really is majestic.
Oh, you heard me say that out loud?
Oh, yes, you said that out loud.
Oh,
We all
no.
heard it.
Do you think he heard me?
Probably not.
Oh, phew.
I don't know that he can hear much at all.
Oh,
He stomps away.
I know, that's why I like him so much. He gets
Probably
so
got a
annoyed
bird's
with
nest
me.
in his ears.
Less than everyone else.
And as he guides you through the city, and it's pretty much across the other side of the city, and you see the massive oak of Midsummer standing at the center on that large island of the huge lake that even in the morning, the sun is just barely coming up. It's still dark above the canopy. As you see despite the moon having set, that lake in the center of the city still shimmers with moonlight, it seems, almost supernaturally, as you make your way over one of the bridges past the the Oak of Midsummer, a great number of treants all standing vigilantly, and Ancient Cragglebark looks at you and says,
See, this is where I stood vigilantly all night. You see the importance of my work.
Oh, so you're just gonna be in this spot all night? Just right
That is where I stay vigilant.
Do
Not missing a single
Do
thing.
you have to vigilant alone?
I am with the defenders of Maka.
Who's that? Who are they? What's her name?
There are many
What
defenders
are
of
their
the
names?
forest. I could go on, and there is Lilypad and Cragglejohn,
Where do they
and
live?
he's my cousin.
Oh.
So
Well,
as-
I mean, I guess that's not so weird. Old Jaybird was with his cousin for a while once.
That sounds like a cultural difference that I am not going to comment on.
as
Think of him.
as he leads you through the city. And as you arrive at the den of Fang and Claw, this whole district, you see that the buildings are similarly on various tiers throughout the forest, on the forest floor, but you see the mixture of these great dens for these large bears and roosts for the owls and places for the other animals that they seem to actually live within the city with their own dwellings built in just as the wood elves live. But you see that there's a great number of barracks all across this entire district where that all of the windows now are entirely dark. As you make your way, and there's a huge platform, and you see that there's actually seems to be a launching platform that goes directly into the dome and the canopy that makes up the Thornwilds, and you just see row after row after row after row of Thornwatch as they're all standing at attention, waiting for the Thorn Mother to arrive. And you see at the very head of them, of the hundreds, well over 1,000 of these wood elves, are all just staring out ahead, facing into the city. And you see that there's a little circular platform that's elevated and raised several, probably 10 feet from this launching platform. And you see facing that as well, waiting for the Thorn Mother to arrive, is a Four Cloud Dancer, standing at perfect attention.
There she is.
Do you want to try to get her attention?
Maybe we shouldn't. Oh, I'm so flustered. Maybe we shouldn't try cause a scene. We should go up. Can we get up there? Do you think we could?
I think you're supposed to be in the audience.
And you see that there's a throng gathering now of people that are excited, they're waving, they're cheering, and the Thornwatch is just completely standing at attention. And as you look at all of the faces through the crowd after row after row after row, you see that all of that there's a grimness to their face at the task that they're expected to do. But there seems to be a bit of determination and trust, and Cragglebark stands back up and he takes several steps back as he says,
Well, after the ceremony, and our brave men and women of the Thorn Watch make their way to victory, I will guide you to breakfast.
As he steps away off to the side, and you see that there's another treant, probably a good 50 feet, and they give each other a knowing look and then turn back and you seem to be alone, so to speak, in the throng of the audience.
Vandrus, can you do that thing that you did to me yesterday to her? Like send her a message?
How far does she look like she is?
What do you mean?
She's probably, you could probably get about like 40 feet from her, 30 or 40 feet.
Why'd you send him a message? We were with him all day.
No,
Yeah. What?
What?
No, you said Vander sent you a message. How?
Oh no, he sent me a message in my head. Aye, he did.
No.
Oh no, he didn't.
Vander's in the magic.
Well, just because I don't like it, I didn't practice it, I didn't want to devote my life to it, doesn't mean that I'm devoid of it.
No, you're like totally boring. No offense.
I'm not sure how those two things equate, but alright.
Never sent us messages.
Annulin, I keep telling you, when I write back to you in your journal, you gotta let it go.
As soon as she's finished saying that, I pointed at Annulin, and in her head she hears, boom, you got a message. And I point at Sylvia, and she hears, boom, you got a message.
There's something
And my eyes glow blue each time I do it.
There's something inside of my head that sounds just like Vandris, but he's way cooler.
Is that you?
I do a small bow.
He's boring, no offense. It was definitely one of his old
all
fake
night, and we
creatures.
shared secrets all night. And you were just talking with,
Wait a minute.
with your
what
mouth
do you
whole.
mean? What do you mean by you shared secrets all night?
No,
What
it
do
was
you
just
guys talk
elf
about?
stuff. You
What
know,
did
we
you talk
talked about our ears and
Elf stuff, huh?
elf stuff.
Just going off and having fun on your own. Well, you know what? I'm impressed that you finally have magic. When you guys, you guys didn't have magic when you defeated me, so I should probably feel even worse about myself. That
Your words, not mine.
He could still light his sword on fire. That's about it.
that's not the same thing, Rebecca. And now you're all magical. Well done. You're all cooler. I agree. I agree. I became very uncool when you defeated me, and I lost my powers, and I became cool again.
This is getting very far off the rails. To answer your question in one word, yes.
Then
That's really
definitely
cool,
don't
Vandris.
send her a message right now about if we could speak to her.
I'm sure that's a good idea.
Why not?
Otherwise they're all going to die.
All right. I'm
Wait.
going... What?
Did I tell you that I told you I talked to her at the party, didn't I?
I think so.
You may have mentioned it.
Well, she knows they're all going to die.
That's why I think we can talk some kind of sense into her.
Okay. I just didn't want you to be like, oh, you know you're going to die, because she'd be like, I know.
That's a good point. Frame the message as like, we kind of know this is like a suicide mission, sort of, and we have a
why
really
not-
important thing to say.
Or, I mean, you can't do magic, so I don't know why I'm talking about this, but if for some reason, coincidentally, she just happens to talk to us after you pretend like you're talking to her in your head,
Okay.
if you could pretend like you're talking to her in your head and you say, hey, we have more information about Blood Eyes,
Is she even gonna know what that means?
what do you mean?
I don't think she knows who Blood Eyes is.
That's the
She
warden
doesn't know
who knows.
anything about him.
What were we talking about?
Before
Who's that?
the really, really, really cool elf in the Thorn Guard that, like, I
That
totally
dumb bitch
could
that killed
be.
the dragon? Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Oh, no, don't say anything to her. Bye, hope you die.
Oh, that's not nice. I talked to her and
You
she
know what
really felt terrible. I could
knew.
tell.
I knew there was a reason I woke up this morning wanting to
It was
murder.
honest, not really an accident. She did mean to kill it, but she didn't mean to kill it when it was healthy.
Oh, now I want to murder more.
Remember when you bit that caterpillar?
The one before Carlisle?
Yeah, you didn't mean to kill him.
Nope, but then I found Carlisle, so it worked out.
But what if she, could live long enough by our message to find another dragon? Another
So
big
she
dragon?
could kill that one too?
No, she could let it live like you live.
Oh, I'm
Carlisle.
eventually gonna cut Carlisle in half with my teeth.
Well, that's not nice at all. I spent a lot of time making him healthy, so he didn't infect you.
It's not my fault.
It's probably just inevitable.
This is why this is someone else. It's
Sylvia,
a
the
very
sun's not
dangerous
even up and
place
you've
in there.
upset me.
You're the one who's
I don't want to talk about it.
sympathizing with a murderer, and you're mad at me for not killing my caterpillar yet?
No,
okay.
I'm not that you're going to kill it at all. We've got
This
off track.
totally makes
Off
sense.
track.
Get on with it, lad.
All right, I just want to make sure that I don't miss. Yeah, it's one of those things where I just feel like I'm so damn persuasive that I can just reach out and talk to people right in the brains. And with that, my eyes will kind of flicker blue or glow blue. And I'm going to send her a message that says, hello, yes, don't panic. This is Vandris Truestrike, the man who shot you down for a lovely, lovely date. But again, don't panic. Me and my friends would like a word with you at your nearest convenience. It is a matter of life and death. It's Vandris Truestrike. That's the end of the message.
Make it where you take a disadvantage.
What? Oh, disadvantage. Well, good thing I'm a Viking at that. Persuasion, you say?
Yep.
Haha. 24.
24. She seems surprised, and then she looks through the crowd and then catches eyes with you. And there's a bit of a hesitation. And then
my ass.
And then you say, and you hear a voice in your head that says, I have a mission I have to lead, and the Thorn Mother's going to be here any minute. What do you want? You better have a good reason for this.
It's another blink, another flash of the eyes, and I say, matter of life and death. I promise you.
Make your space take a disadvantage.
24.
24.
It's the lowest I can roll.
She looks around and gives a nod to one of the lieutenants that's behind her, and she quickly shoots up to a branch that's right over you and lands down. And she looks at all of you and says, "I have to get ready for this mission. I have 5 minutes. What's this life and death?"
Oh, I'm not the brains behind this operation, Rodek. Can I push him forward?
You know the danger of this mission, right?
Yes, I do.
Have you fought fire giants before?
I hope you die.
She
doesn't
looks
mean
at you,
that.
Sylvie, and she looks kind of sad, but stoic, and says, I probably will.
Okay, cool.
Jeez.
Oh,
And
Lord,
she
she doesn't mean it, I promise.
She turns to you, Rodek, and says, I've fought one raiding party. It went fine. Not an army, though. Not an army. Is this what you came to tell me?
I want to suggest to you, if things go south, if it looks like there's no hope, don't feel like you have to throw your life away.
Is she going to be watching you, the Thorn Mother?
I know. And we've been given a strict order.
Do you
No
know
retreat.
how she's going to watch you?
It's going to be sentry owls flying over us, watching the battle.
Maybe we can disrupt them. Give them a chance to just divert. You can lead the rest of the army out of harm's way.
We have our mission.
I know you do, but it's a death mission.
And she just pauses, and she shakes her head and says, "You really are an edgeling. You don't have the faith in our mother,
No.
and I see that. She knows best. She does, and we have our orders. No retreat. We cannot let another tree or animal perish due to these giants. And if I have to give my life to make it so, I will."
Okay, goodbye.
Oh, Sylvie.
What?
It's not going to be worth it. Just so you know, if you choose to die, and you all die,
Same thing's going to happen.
they're going to march on Maka just the same. They're going to destroy the city just the same. And you won't be there to defend it.
Well, that's what... And she looks past you up at the tree and says, "That's what ancient Cragglebark is for, and then it's out of my hands, and it's in his. And I believe in his ability."
See, this person is just as ignorant today as they were yesterday.
I have to get back to my...
She's ignorant. She's stubborn.
I have to get back to the Thornwatch.
Yeah,
Make it
that's why she killed an honest true, lovely fairy dragon without any thought because she's blindly following the orders of someone who did not know.
I think that was ignorance.
Make a persuasion check straight, Rodak.
That's what I'm saying.
It is
You're
of course,
saying
the
we're
assistance
not
of your
helping?
friends that has allowed you to make it straight instead of disadvantaged. 14. She looks at you sadly, but with a bit of determination, and says, "You know, I think there's a good chance that we'll be able to take him out. We, with some of the best warriors and certainly the best rangers and druids in this entire continent, maybe the world. So I don't think our chances are that bad, especially with the wisdom of the Thorn Mother guiding us. They won't be expecting a head-on attack. I'll tell you that much."
All right, well,
I wish there was something we could do to help. Just give him some extra time until we figure something out.
if they're anything like frost giants, try to attack them from the back. Stay out of their reach.
That's a good plan.
Well, we'll do that. And with this, and she taps her bow, and there's a little bit of a spark of an arc of lightning that goes up and down it. She says, "This has seen me through many dire-looking fights. I think I'll be able to kill a good number of them. Thank you for your concern."
Can I also just spend some time with giants being like one of my favorite enemies?
Yeah.
Just downloading anything that anyone knows about.
I would say that download in what you
Just like giving her
yeah.
like
You
Look, like this is this and
you
this
give
and
her
this.
you give her a full rundown as quickly as you can as she steps away, and you see that there's movement down coming up the ramp, and she nods and says, "Got it. I think I might be able to take down a few more now. Thank you. And if we don't make it, I'd ask, you don't owe us anything, but I hope that you will help protect the city." Goodbye.
I believe we will. Good luck.
She extends her arm and shoots back and snaps to attention. And you see the tree ants come over the ramp first, and these tree ants seem to be far more beautiful and less aged and craggly and rock-like as Cragglebark, as they seem to be perhaps feminine, as they have these beautiful flowers all throughout their hair that drape down like beautiful summer blossoms as they arrive in a procession with the golden armored royal guard. And you see appearing, coming over the ramp, you see the Thorn Mother almost gliding across the ground, towering over her royal guard. At her right, you see Ronmir as always, and at her left, you see Arlon. And they make their way as the crowd parts and lets her pass without any hesitation. And she eventually arrives and steps up to the pedestal, and you realize that her feet are actually assisted by a large blossoms appears underneath her feet to give her a bit of a bounce to land on this platform as she arrives. And she looks over the crowd and then looks over the Thornwatch, and she makes a quick eye contact of all of you, and her eyes linger on you for a moment, and she turns back, and immediately a silence falls over the crowd, and she turns and locks eyes with Aphora, and she says, "My Thornwatch, are you prepared adequately for your mission and your certain victory?" And I know the answer to that already. And immediately, Aphora gives a salute across her chest, and she nods and almost bows. And she says, "Of course, Thorn Mother. We are ready. We are ready for victory. They will not make it to the city. And she nods and smiles and says, "Of course, High Ranger, Sentinel, you will lead the finest elves of this entire world, of this entire plane, to victory. I have been across the plains, I have seen the elves of the Feywild, and they pale in comparison to the bravery and the willingness to sacrifice that you all do." And she simply nods. And she just Forrest stares at the Thorn Mother, just completely resolute, and all of the Thorn Watch are facing her. The hundreds of lives now hanging in the balance. And the Thorn Mother raises her hand as you hear the crackling and groaning of wood as you see effortlessly the massive dome of intertwined thorns and branches start to crack and pull apart, and it forms almost this opening and tunnel into the thorn wilds, heading south. And from the launching pad of the city, and she says, "The fate of our city, of our people, rest in your capable hands, and you will know that there is no retreat for how important this mission is. This plan was brought to me in the wisdom of my meditation. I know that you will achieve victory. I have seen it in consulting with nature. You will be the defenders of this natural world. You will be defenders of Marka and defenders of the planet, just as you have sworn your lives to. There is no retreat. There is no surrender. Fight to every last one of you, Thornwatch. And I know you will be victorious. We will be watching here, waiting for you to return and celebrate your certain victory. And so now go, my children, for the planet." And immediately, everyone in unison, the entire Thornwatch and everyone in attendance says, "For the planet!" And Ephora looks at the Thorn Mother one last time and then down to all of you with a grim but determined glance. And they all turn around, and in unison, they shoot their thorns out into the thorn wilds and fly south. And the Thorn Mother raises her hand again, and as soon as every single one, and it takes a good amount of time as they're all launching into the forest, almost flying with their thorn whips. Once they're the final regiment of these rangers and druids disappear out of sight, she raises her hand, and you hear the crackling and groaning of wood as the dome closes itself again. And without a word, the Thorn Mother turns and smiles and waves at the crowd and occasionally extends a hand down to touch the shoulder or hand, and the people are once again they're nearly worshiping her. And she turns and her procession leaves. And as she leaves, she turns to smile at all of you, and then without a word, she is gone.
This is a sad day.
We tried. We did all that we could for now.
Yay, we did.
I don't feel like we did. It doesn't feel good.
These people, they're zealots. She's like a god to them.
She just has her thorns just dug right into them, and I don't know, we could have gone with them, we could have gotten them, you know.
You want to go with them? Hey, no.
No, I don't want to go with them, but like, if we could just get them away from her and talk some sense into them when she's not breathing down the necks and staring at them and saying, "My dream's this," and I don't like her. I don't trust her. She's bad. She's just bad.
Well, I mean, maybe she's right. Maybe they'll have a great victory and we'll all celebrate.
You saw that army.
Yeah, no, I did. Chances are very low.
Unless they have some secret weapon. We'll see if they use it.
I don't seem to know about a secret weapon. Do you feel like if you had a secret weapon, you would tell? I guess that doesn't make it much of a secret. But still.
Either way, there's nothing we can do about that. What we can do is try to protect the city. And try to figure out what's going on with this advisor in the heart.
Well, let's go. I don't want to waste another minute. If we can stop this before it starts, that would be best.
It's time to get breakfast.
Yes, breakfast. That is what I was supposed to do next.
The little elf's room.
But we're ready when you are.
Let us go.
Ancient Cragglebark leads you down the ramp as people are cheering, and there's a sense of jubilation in the air that doesn't seem to match the severity on the expressions of the Thornwatch as they made their way south into the forest. As you continue downward and through the city, and Ancient Cragglebark is occasionally talking to you and telling you about the city. And
You want to tell us that, Cragglebark?
Oh, I did? It's a very boring story. I mean, a very interesting fact about Martha.
As he continues to make his way, and when you're about halfway across the city, heading towards that beautiful gleaming palace, the Hall of the Summer Rose, you see a quick flash of movement, and the flap of a very dark green cloak as you see an armored woman appear, almost materialize out of nowhere, and you see Warden Darkcrescent as she almost materializes to the side of you, and she doesn't look at any of you as she looks up to Cragglebark and says, "Ancient, can I speak to you?" And Cragglebark leans back and says, "Oh, of course, what's happened now?" And she looks pretty serious, and she says, I need it. It's urgent, please." And she steps to the side, and Cragglebark turns down and says, "Give me a minute. It is probably important for the defense of the city." And he steps away and then leans down, and he puts a hand to his ear that isn't really an ear, it's just literally just bark, but as if it helps him, as if he's trying to listen.
So attractive.
And she leans up and talks into his ear for a bit.
There's something about no ears that really just gets me going.
Get in there, see how we can help. Offer our
I
services.
don't know, she didn't even look at us. It seems like she's very focused on whatever she needs to do.
Can I hear anything if I'm like really focusing?
Oh, makes a perception check.
Un momento, por favor.
Un momento. I guess you have advantage in the forest.
Oh, I do?
Didn't you just say that you had advantage on perception checks?
Is it perception?
Well, any wisdom check.
Yeah, that'll be
in the forest.
23.
23. As he leans in and you're trying to listen through your companions talking, you hear her
My ear up.
you hear her and you can see her just barely through the absolute mane of vines of his hair and beard as she is whispering, trying to be very careful, but you're able to pick it up very faintly. And she says, I am going to need your finest and most powerful Floromancer. The pixie almost escaped last night. If it wasn't for me arriving back when I did, she would have made it out. Fuck. And you know what will happen to us if the Thorn Mother finds out. Please, send for her as soon as you can. I've sedated her for now, but I'm not sure how long I can hold her. And you hear the crackling and groaning of Woodard, and he just turns his head and says,
I will call for it right away. I know exactly who to send.
and you don't need to roll a perception check for that. He's just saying that very plainly as he leans back up. As she looks up and just nods at him, and her eyes quickly dart to all of you and then kind of linger on you, Vandris. And she turns and she almost stops, and then she turns away, and she's walking very quickly and hurriedly. And she almost just disappears into the crowd of people in an instant. And Ancient Cragglebark turns to you and says,
I am sorry, my dear closest friends. I mean total strangers I met yesterday. I must see to the defense of the city. Do you know the way to the Hall of the Golden Rose? I took you there once before. Last evening, in fact.
Aye, we can manage from here.
Yeah, we can find it.
Very well. It is important business. I don't want you to think that I don't value you honored guests of our mother.
Oh, of course. You've got to do what you've got to do.
You've a lovely and light, pleasant breakfast in the garden.
Right. Thanks, Cricklebark.
Good luck.
and he makes his way off.
Guys, did you hear that?
Walk and talk. Walk and talk.
No, wait.
What?
Maybe we shouldn't go to this breakfast at all.
She's expecting us.
I don't care what she's expecting.
What did they say?
The warden said. She said that she needs a powerful floromancer and that the pixie almost escaped.
They've got Pixie in captivity.
That's what it sounds
What
like.
if it's Lumi? Lumi's been missing, and I just thought to myself, okay, well, she's kind of an asshole, so I'm sure she's just playing tricks. But it's to a point now where it's getting kind of weird.
We should follow him. We should go. We should offer our assistance. He's not going to remember if he didn't ask us to come. He's half out of the...
What are the
Woods.
most common? What do the guards look like around the warden area? And are there a bunch of them, or are they uncommon?
So you know that the guards basically that they wander the city, and rather than the very sleek, very leafy design of the Thornwatch, theirs is far more barky and thorny. Right? It's a lot more heavily armored. They are around, and they are not members of the Thornwatch. But you know that they had a similar design. The ones of, especially the Vault, have a similar design to the Warden, but hers is the most extravagant with the crescents and the bit of almost an owl-like motif.
So, here's my thought. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Pixie rescue mission. Scoop breakfast. Rescue Pixie.
I say that we...
Whoa! I forgot you were here.
I know, I have that... I'm behaving myself.
You are. You're doing really nice.
Don't you think that we should do the rescue mission after we
I
meet
was
with
just about to say.
the all-knowing, all-powerful leader of this city after she's expecting us, and when we don't show up, she's like, oh, let's go find
It
them.
would draw so much attention to us that we really shouldn't.
Okay, so I'm not easily convinced, but you've convinced me. Let's do breakfast first.
And my stomach growls.
No, Sylvia, Wait, was that easy?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea because we don't want them looking for us. We want to make us all look like the guards that hang out at the warden's place so that we can sneak around without them noticing. But if they're looking for us, they'll find us more
Exactly.
quickly. Know what I mean?
The only thing I will say is that if you have a good feeling that this could be Lumi,
Goat milk.
then I'll go through with it. But if we break into a prison for some random fake creature that doesn't really get us anywhere closer to what we're trying to do, we could be blowing our cover big time.
Right. So let's hope that it's Lumi.
Are all
But also-
pixies good?
No, pixies aren't good at all.
And you're all right with this.
We need to get inside regardless, pixie or not. And we need to see where these tunnels go.
Wait a minute. Does that mean we
Yeah, we're
actually
gonna
get to
do a
steal
heist.
something?
No, we're not going to steal anything. We're going to investigate.
No, we're totally heisting after breakfast.
After breakfast. Because that's the thing. When you want to make sure that when you're infiltrating high society and you're going to steal something, that you make sure that you attend all of your engagements, and then when you're not expected anywhere, that's when you strike. And you kill as few people as possible.
We're not going to kill anyone.
We don't know that yet.
Well, let's try not to
Let's
kill
say we
anyone.
get a life
Can we
in
get
that
on the same
situation.
page on that at least?
Life in the situation, do I get to kill people?
No.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
That's very broad
We
terms.
should have a kill code word.
I'll say kill. If we need to kill anyone, let's wait for me to say the word kill.
Don't you
Alright?
think that that's too on the nose?
Well, if we're at the point where we're killing people, no, I don't think so.
But how do you how do you say kill in Dwarvish?
I say kill and Dwarvish.
That was pretty good.
Sylvie goes and has
Give me 1 second.
So we
I
all...
know we often are talking in common so we can all understand each other, but I really would like to know more about your native tongue.
It's just Dwarvish.
I know, but that's one of the few languages that I don't speak. Actually, there's quite a few languages I don't speak, but that's not one of them, for some reason. Despite having a lot of contact with dwarves.
You make your way through the city as the population does seem to be, smaller now. Obviously, the Thornwatch is gone, but you make your way through very easily. It's hard to miss. It's hard to miss the massive palace and all of its various tiers. And you make your way to the courtyard that you remembered from the previous day. And as soon as you enter, you are ushered in and welcome. You have been expected. You don't even need to flash the invitation. And you're guided through a large door in the courtyard, through these winding hedge flanked pathways that are just brilliantly alive with these blooming, colorful flowers that flash with light and almost glow, and they almost move as you walk past them, as they almost shrink back and then grow out again. And eventually there is a small arched doorway that seems to be very discreet, but definitely tall enough for the Thorn Mother to fit through. As the royal guards open it, and you see ahead of you an absolutely enchanting garden. You hear the light rippling of a small stream with a pond, and there's a number of trees rising up. But these are they're twisted and turning in almost a spiral pattern. And the blooms, the flowers that are blooming from its branches, are flashing with gold and purple and blue and every color you can imagine. And there's a great number of flowers and fruit growing, and they seem to be all sorts of colors and shapes that don't seem to be standard, even in what you've experienced in Maka. And you see that there's toadstools that line the pathway of circular stones through this magnificent garden that's absolutely it's a huge space with bushes of all sorts of types of petals that there seems to be almost a strange motion to it. And you make your way through, and you see that there, besides a fountain that is spilling with water in the shape of a rose, you see that there is a small table that's set for breakfast. And you see as you approach the incredibly tall elegant form of the Thorn Mother as she's attending to a bush, as she waves her hand, and you see as there's a great number.
It wasn't me, it was her!
That's a new.
She's attending to a bush, and she waves a hand, and you see as it gets it grows larger, and that a great number of golden roses bloom from it, and they get larger and larger and larger as these thorny vines grow out and then back into it. And she turns, and you see that there is a tree beside her that has all of these beautiful ripe fruits that look like a combination between a peach and a plum. And she waves her hand, and they grow larger and larger, and almost change shape and color, and she goes from one color back to the other, and she is almost distracted as you approach.
Ready? I suppose so.
Isn't this the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
I can't wait to put things in my mouth, swallow them, and put them into my belly so that my stomach first can eat them.
So you came hungry, and she hasn't turned yet to you. As she makes one more wave of her hand, and there's an adjustment as a number of flowers now sprout from the vines that attach these fruit to the tree.
That's beautiful, what you're doing there.
Yeah, it looks really pretty.
Aye.
It
Very
makes me
nice.
wonder how gorgeous the summer court must look. I bet it's way cooler than this.
Oh, you have no idea. This is just a glimpse of what is possible in the summer court. And she turns to you, and you see that she's wearing a different dress, and that seems to be, it's a different one that she had attended the ceremony with. The other one was far more formal, covering up a little bit more skin. This one is is once again clinging to her incredibly shapely form, revealing plenty of golden skin. As she makes her way over to the table that's in a floral shape, and you see that there's a number of chairs that are all grown out of flower and vine bark. As she waves her hand, and you see each step that she makes, a number of toadstools pop up, and they flash in color, and then shrink back down as she leaves. And she waves a hand, and the chair scoots back, and she sits down, and she scoots herself forward and gestures to you, and then all of the chairs slide back. Please,
Thank you.
join me.
I'll sit down.
Can I have a booster seat? Because otherwise I won't be able to see anything, and I'll just gnaw on the side of the table. It gets real loud.
She raises her hand, and you feel as you bump up, and you realize there's a little bit more of a bump as a large mushroom kind of plops up from your seat, and it's very comfortable.
That's exactly what I was hoping for.
How did you sleep? You found my letter well.
I did. Thank you for the invitation. Very generous. Another meal. So soon.
Of course, there's no better way to greet new friends and new allies than by ensuring that all of their needs are taken care of.
Do you know what the great philosopher Plato once said?
No, I've never heard of him.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold.
Well, we know which is better in that arrangement. The new friends are the gold ones.
Oh. Sure.
Please, eat.
I never thought about it.
And you see that there's a large, elegant teapot and a great number of pastries and
Wait,
and
no, that's
berries
not
and
true. Because old rhymes with gold and new rhymes with silver.
I'm going to be your new gold friend. You are my honored guests, and I just have to know more about you.
Well, how did you sleep, Thorn Mother?
I always sleep perfectly.
Oh, I just, you must have been so busy with last night with the army, planning with, your people that help you with all this stuff. And I thought maybe you would have been tired, but it's...
Oh no, I left the preparations to Ephora. Once I gave her the order of the feast, it was all out of my hands.
Oh.
Now we get to let them go off and achieve their victory, and we shall watch from the comfort of the palace.
You spent the whole night alone, then?
I meditated and I spent the night how I always do. And she leans forward and smiles at you. It was... I always go to bed exhausted.
Were you banging Annulin's brother last night?
Is my brother here?
I cough up a piece of lettuce, like right onto the table.
There's a
Sylvie
little
says
salad
that.
and those tea sandwiches.
Where is Runmir?
I eat a Danish.
Did we see him at the...
He was at the ceremony, but he's not. He's
just
here.
not here. Okay.
He's not here.
But he wasn't he didn't leave with them, right? He stayed.
No,
in
he's
the
part of the
city.
royal
Okay.
guard. Yeah,
Okay. That's what I just
they made
wanted
it very clear that Arlon and Ronmir and the rest of the guards are staying.
I'm trying to stifle laughter after Sylvie shouts this out.
Ronmir is a very talented member of my royal guard.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Good for him.
He's very skilled.
Maybe it
Yes.
runs in the family. I could maybe be scared.
Roderick, you have to be kidding me.
I
Are we all at
highly
the same
doubt
breakfast here?
that, child.
I can't be the only one hearing this.
Oh, well.
He and Arlon poisoned a friend we know. Great bear of a man. Used him as owlbear bait.
Did they? Well,
Okay.
I'm sure they were very effective. That feels like a lifetime ago when I sent them off.
Vandra stalked a chicken once.
That's only half technically correct.
With me.
More correct.
Well, I think that you would actually do quite well in the summer court.
Oh, there's a lot of chickens there.
I presume...
What?
I presume that folk in other parts of the world might blush at such a thing. The summer court, there's much to be enjoyed.
Well,
I like
Maybe we could visit.
maybe we will get to see it one day. Perhaps.
Do they have meat in the summer court?
I get really uncomfortable during stress conversations and I just start spewing whatever's on my head. So if you want this to stop, you're gonna need to get your shit together. I'm saying that to everyone, not just you. No offense.
She's a little nervous. She's been on edge.
Yeah, I'm
Lately.
shaking.
It didn't
There's
look
no,
like you're shaking.
there's no reason to be stressed. We are all here amongst friends enjoying a pleasant meal. I just simply want to get to know my honored guests.
Oh, ask questions. Do it. Go, go, go.
Well, where are you all from? How long do you plan to stay?
Oh, this is so fun. Vandris, you start.
Oh, where am I from? Well, I'm from Gullhaven. Tiny little port town, nothing really much to it, other than the hardworking people of the Gullhaven. How long do I plan on being here? Well, as long as my friends need me to be.
Yes, they dredged up a great stretch of marsh to build Gullhaven.
Did they?
So many plants and animals died for such ruthless industry, such as fishing and tide hunting.
I didn't know that. How long ago did that happen?
A town based in blood and slaughter.
Well, I'm only about 130 years old, so
I
what
didn't
can
expect
you
to know that.
what can you say?
But at least you don't plan on bringing your slaughter here to my city.
No. Well, why would we?
I mean, to be fair, we're not the ones that kill the fair dragon for sport, so...
Excellent point. Excellent point.
No, you would not. And Ephora is now off leading her mission, and I am certain she will be successful. I'm sure you felt that same energy and confidence from the Thorn Watch as they made their way to meet our enemy at the gates, so to speak.
Yes, there was a lot of feelings and energy about?
I'm sure it'll go great.
I'm from Bog Possum. That's a place that exists. And I'm going to be here for today.
What are you going to do tomorrow?
I don't know yet. That's why I can't guarantee I'll be here tomorrow.
Well, I've
You're
never.
so whimsical. Isn't she whimsical?
One day at a time.
Oh,
Like a true fey creature.
Yep.
And I know where you're from. Rodek, tell me about where you are from.
I'm from up north.
Goat milk.
It makes it frothy.
Goat milk all over me.
You may have heard of it. The north. North of here.
Yes, I have. I'm not familiar with Dwarven lands.
Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek. Terrible, terrible place. Their logging operations has brought the demise of many good trees.
Oh,
They are fortunate that they have not made their way to the Thorn Wilds.
I thought she was just gonna shit on where I'm from.
I mostly did building. Wee bit of mining.
With the materials from the logging operations. But you're here now and you're being such polite guests and returning my hospitality with kindness and grace. So what I really am curious about, and as I had mentioned last night,
Do you have a kids menu with some crowns?
I have my crown. We do
No,
not have children.
like colored
and-
wax that I could put on.
Goat's milk everywhere, Sylvie.
I got a sippy cup.
Beautiful flower table.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I see that Ronmia's sister is now covered in nut milk.
No, it's not goat milk.
I don't like the way that was phrased.
No, of course not. There are no goats here. It's nut milk.
Oh, it
It's
tastes
for your
just
tea.
like goats.
It's for your tea.
No, I just drink it like this. Can I get some crowns and a coloring book, please?
We do not have that available. There's no children
What kind of
allowed on the
restaurant is
premises.
It's not a
It is not a
Sylvie.
restaurant. It is my private home.
What kind of private home is this? At least in my home, Mooch brings me my crowns.
What the hell's is a crown? Holy
Rodek, I'm gonna
crown!
be honest with you, this is the weirdest meal we have ever shared as a group before. We have been traveling for a very long time, and I am very, very lost.
The only crown here is mine. And she gestures to
my sippy cup, please.
the tiara around her head, and once again her hair is shaped into that beautiful shape of the rose, and it seems that the adornments on it going up and around have changed out from last night and also from the ceremony, as if she's redoing her hair in every appearance, but still keeping that shape. As her golden eyes kind of survey all of you, and she thinks for a moment, and she says, My crown is of great importance in the summer court, you know, Sylvie.
Did you know that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Sylvie said, "Why's that?"
This is from Queen Titania herself.
What is?
The crown.
That's amazing.
Pay attention.
I'm
She
sorry.
gave you her crown?
She did.
Someone carved something about nut milk into this table. I was reading it.
Sylvie, did you carve that?
Shut up.
Sorry.
So you got that crown from Titania herself.
I did. It was a gift
Oh, why?
because of my loyal service to the court of
Oh,
Summer.
what did you do?
I was one of the highest ranking of all of the nobles in the Summer Court.
So why are you here?
Because I decided to go bring good to the prime material plane.
Why'd she let you leave?
We had an agreement, an arrangement, that I would bring the glory of the summer court to here and protect the natural world when it is being so terribly ravaged and abused.
Can I roll an insight check on her?
Please.
And see if she's telling the truth.
Tell her the truth.
Oh, God.
She's probably telling the truth.
As far as you know.
But I guess we'll find out
So she says that Titania let her.
with my 16.
16. You get the sense that she's being very honest.
Well, that's cool.
How long have you been here in the world? The prime material plane, as you say.
A very long time. Only, I suppose not that long, just a millennia or two.
Oh my goodness. That's like a really, really long time.
Well, how long
Isn't
is that?
it?
Like 5 years?
I actually don't know, but I think it's more than like. Is that 100, 1,000 years?
It's between 1,000 and 2,000 years, eh?
Why is it between? Is that 1,500 years?
Well, she said a millennia or two, so it could be
Oh,
one or two,
so a
or maybe
millennia's
somewhere in
1,000
between.
years. That's good to know.
Any plans to go back?
Well, this is the dinner of the century.
It's breakfast.
Thank you.
Taking breakfast.
I have no plans of
Fucking
returning.
breakfast.
This is my home now, and these are my people.
Do you ever have to do check-ins with Titania to tell her about how you're so successful protecting?
There's no need. She has the utmost trust in my ability.
Oh, she does.
That's why she gifted me this crown that allows me to do all of this. And she
That's
gestures
so
around.
cool. Can you take me to see her? I'm free tomorrow.
Perhaps, if you are a good little guest.
Well, what after to be a good little guest? I'm not good at these like fey politics stuff, so you just tell me what I need to do. And
If
I'll
I'm
do
going
it.
to take you to the summer court, you're going to have to learn
What?
Fey politics.
Teach me then.
Well, you know that nothing comes for free.
Right. Yep. Okay.
I would love to know how you came into contact with your patron. Was it truly random, like you said last night?
Well, yeah, totes.
Interesting. Are you in direct, constant communication with her?
Totally not.
Would you be able to grant me audience?
Definitely not. I can't even grant myself audience. I'm just kind of a loser.
I don't think you're a loser.
Is that deception?
No.
Okay.
No. Is that deception?
She takes a spoon and stirs her tea and sips and takes a bite of a tea sandwich, and she purses her lips a bit and says, "Well, seems peculiar that you cannot be persuasive to your patron, or put in a word for someone who loves to talk about secrets of the Fae. But I would not pressure you.
I mean, I could just send her a message. I just can't control what she does. So, if you want me to send her like an email, I could do that.
Sylvie, what's an email?
Well, it's emotional mail. It comes from my heart and I send it with my brain.
Oh, that's lovely.
Thanks.
Oh, it's nice.
Well,
I hope you send me an email sometime.
anything you
Yep,
could
I
do,
will.
I would always appreciate it, and I never let a favor go unreturned. Never. I did not get this far in my life by letting good reciprocation go to waste.
So, is that how you got the crown?
Of course. It was a gift thanks for my years of service.
And you said it allows you to do everything here. Does it mean it lets you grow things, or what exactly does that mean?
Of course. And she waves her hand, and you see as the one of the trees next to you molds and shapes and blooms with these brilliant flowers, and these fruits all of a sudden grow out of every single empty branch.
Can I wear it?
Unfortunately, no. It is permanently affixed to my head.
No crown.
Like it's fused
no
there.
crowns.
You can't even take it off when you go to sleep.
No, I always wear it.
Wow.
This is the way.
This is how I got this incredible stature as well, as I'm sure you've noticed.
The crown does that.
Of course.
Oh, what did you
It
look
is
like
not just the
before?
plants that grow. I am, what are we but roses growing in the garden of nature?
This might be an inappropriate question, so I apologize in
Good.
advance, but are you going to live forever?
Well, I have intentions to. Nature must be protected, and until every threat against the natural world is wiped out ruthlessly, I must draw breath.
I mean, 600 or 700 years is barely enough time, let alone a few millennia.
Well, I suppose I have enough time to complete my mission, and I don't think I'll need that much longer.
So the crown keeps you alive longer than you should be.
It is the miracle of nature.
It doesn't bother you that you're disrupting the natural life cycle?
Oh no, anything but. The natural world doesn't even account for creatures such as yourselves, such as myself. We are not part of the natural order. We are mere disruptors, violators. Humanoids of all varieties are. That's why I work, to make sure that I give back to the bountiful harvest of nature that has given me so much.
I see.
I give back to the planet. I serve nothing more than this planet. That's why I'm here. Titania agrees with me, of course. That's why she sent me here with the crown.
Do you commune with the planet ever? Speak to her.
The planet's dark.
I meditate in my meditation chamber and commune with nature, yes.
What does nature say? Does it give you advice? Tell you what to do?
Of course. Nature is the wisest force in the entire cosmos. Surely you all must have realized that by now. Look at this grandeur that we have created. Harmonious with the natural order.
Well, I'm glad that you have someone to lean on and rely on. Nature can be beautiful, for sure. Did nature tell you about to do the attack today?
Of course. I sought the best opportunity that I could, weighed all of the options, and begged for an answer from the natural world, and it granted me with vision. It always does, you see. The natural world wants to protect itself, but sometimes it is not powerful enough. The wisdom, the knowledge, and the heart are there, but not always the might. That is where I come in, you see. That is why I'm here. Because the inhabitants of this planet do not care for it the way that I do, and I may be an outsider. But I believe in it. I will sacrifice anything to protect it.
I'm so full now.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed your meal.
Oh, I feel like we've been bombarding you with questions this whole time when you said you wanted to get to know us more.
Well, of course, when you meet someone such as myself, you'll have many questions.
It's true.
Fair enough.
And I can get the general gist of why you are all here.
Of course.
Well,
Good tea, this.
is there anything that we could help with this morning? No.
No, everything is taken care of. You, of course, are all invited for the celebration and the observation of this evening's successful assault.
Of course.
I'll be
Yeah, we'll totes be there.
hosting a gathering in the audience hall. But
In the evening.
in the evening, of course, right around dusk.
Is
I
that
will
when
be...
the army's gonna go into
Yes, the Thorn Watch will be clashing with Duke Grudo's forces.
That's when we'll
Madman.
know who's dead and who's not dead.
Yes, of course.
So exactly who survives, because you know everything, so you must have a list.
I don't know exactly. I just know that this will be a victory, and Duke Grudo and his army will meet its end at the hands of the Thorn Watch, led by the brave Ephora Cloud Dancer.
May she rest in peace.
I know that she will be successful. Do not worry. I have full trust that it will be a decisive victory. Much will be sacrificed, yes, but small price to pay.
Very small.
Very small. Well, I must begin the preparations for the gathering this evening. It will be a celebration unlike anything we have seen before, to celebrate such a decisive victory.
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but I can speak for Sophie. That's me, and I can't wait to see you later.
I cannot wait to seek audience with you and perhaps your patron if she
Yeah, so
responds.
I'll send her a message and just be like, yo, Rosehead. What's your name again? I've been fondly calling you Rosehead.
Viraya Blooming Crown.
Viraya Blooming Crown of the Rosehead Blooming Crowns would like to have a meeting with you. Let me know what's up, dude.
She may not recognize me by that name.
What name should I give her so she recognizes you?
Goldthorn. Viraya Goldthorn.
Goldthorn. Okay, I'll tell her that when I send her a message.
She should know.
How do you spell Viraya? Is it with a ver and an aya or a va and a
In common
raya?
tongue, it's Vireya.
Yep, okay. Toad's got that. Sure.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed your meal.
Of course.
Oh, I did.
Thank you.
You barely touched yours.
I'll eat his later.
Oh, it was the few bites I had very filling.
Can we take it in a Sophie bag?
You can take leftovers, and you've been so quiet, Mr. Tiefling.
Oh, that's because we told him not to talk because he's a jerk face.
And Orpheus kind of bows and says, I've just been awestruck. I'm speechless. In the presence of your beauty, I do not even know what to say. I am not even worthy. Who I am, where I come from, what I plan to do is meaningless.
This is what we told him to shut up.
Absolutely meaningless. In comparison to your grandeur, my queen. And he bows, like, in his seat awkwardly, and he, like, sips. And she smiles at him and says, well, you certainly know how to carry yourself. I appreciate that. And he says, anything for you, perhaps, if you can't get a private audience with our friend's friend.
Her name's Baba Yaga.
Yes, of course. Perhaps a private audience with me. I know many good circus tricks. And she,
What is he playing at?
He's trying to sleep with her.
I don't think so.
and
I do.
he leans back confidently, and she slowly nods at him and says, we will see. We will see, Mr. Radamanthus. Enjoy the day.
Thank you for breakfast.
Thanks again.
All right, let's go.
Thanks
All right.
for dinner. See you later.
And I'll
Bye.
get out of my seat and I'll just start walking.
I'll follow her deck.
It's a busy day. But we celebrate tonight. Farewell.
Bye.
and she turns and she waves an arm, and a door opens up in the side of the palace, and she nearly glides right in, the flashing toadstools and flowers appearing at her feet as it closes back up. And you are all ushered through the palace garden, through the grounds, back through the terrace, out, and the gates close behind you.
That was like the most stressful breakfast I think we've ever had together.
Mostly just weird.
Yep, that was so comfortable.
I enjoyed watching it.
And that's a lot coming from me.
So, what did she... So she knows Baba Yaga? I'm confused.
I don't know.
Unclear.
She said that she would know her by... What was the name she said?
Goldthorn.
Instead of
Blooming Crown.
Goldthorn?
At least know of her.
That was what I picked up. All of these fancy types seem to know each other. Is she fancy? Is fancy?
Why are they afraid to say their names?
You
Baba
just
Yaga?
never know. You just never know.
I say it all the time.
I've seen what she can do, and I've heard even more. I'd rather not, bring it on myself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think we need to go meet with the warden now.
So, do you like my plan?
To be the guards?
Yep.
I think, well, is it going to look, well...
So this is kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I can make all of you, including Orifice, look like the guards, and then I could look like a dead brick. And then if anyone asks what we're doing, you guys are locking up a dead brick.
I guess that's fine.
Can we somehow contact the warden? Just see if she needs help, maybe. Offer her assistance.
She seemed pretty adamant against it. When I was speaking to her the other night, I told her if anything were to come up, that we would be here and that we'd be willing to help. And she seemed to...
Well, and if she had wanted us to know about the pixies, she would have told us and not pulled away Bravo Rock.
That's true. She
She
was standing right there and she didn't ask for help.
She actually didn't want us to know.
But we do know, so we can't just ignore it.
Yeah, because Lumi might be in there. And what happens if they're going to kill her?
We need to avoid the warden at all costs. There's no way we'll get past her disguised guards. No way.
I do get the sense that she probably knows every single person that goes in and out of that.
But
Agreed.
don't they have helmets on? You can't see their faces.
That's a good point. But I just get the sense that she's like, has that,
She probably knows whose shift it is, and she would know if our voices are different.
If we just went there and told her that we know what's going on, maybe she would just let us in.
And that we saw Bloodface. Sylvie saw Bloodface in the quarters of the
That's
Thorn
right,
Mother.
we didn't tell her that.
She doesn't know that.
I would much prefer that route, as opposed to trying to deceive her.
Trigger. She's been so honest and
I just
and you
really
said she's
want to
been
deceive
through so
people.
much.
I agree. I don't know if we can trust her. Just because she's pretty, Vandrus? You really like her that much?
There's nothing to do with that. You don't know what she's been through, all right?
Do you?
I'm very concerned
Don't pressure him.
that us leveraging the fact that we know her is going to put her at very serious risk, all right? We've confirmed that what she saw was real, and that whoever that person is can be anywhere they want, whenever they feel like it, all right? And you didn't see the way she looked when she told me what she was going through. Whatever is weighing on her mind is absolutely harrowing, all right? And I'm concerned that she might not survive any trouble that we get ourselves mixed up in, all right?
Maybe Rodek's right and we should just send her a message. And maybe she'll tell us a way that we can help without
Again, I'd prefer to go that route before we try to trick her, which I'm not even sure we could do.
Orpheus has a point, though. said if she's just as bewitched by the Thorn Mother as the rest of them, how are we going to... She'll give us away. It's a risk.
Listen, I can't know for sure. I don't have any way to know, but it's just a gut feeling. When I spoke with her, it wasn't like speaking to any of these other people. She's very focused on her job, and it didn't seem like it was some sort of an allegiance to some Thorn Mother. It was an allegiance to her people and her city. I mean, we can't know. You have to just trust what I'm saying. And I could be wrong.
Well, if you want to go and blow our entire plan to your new girlfriend, the warden whose job it is to make sure nothing gets out of that thing, then that's your decision.
I don't want to go to the warden at all. I want to stay away from the warden. I don't want to break into a prison, a vault.
We're breaking in either way. We're finding a way into that hot chamber. We can look for a pixie too and see if it's Lumi. Either way, I want to get in there. I want to go into those tunnels. I need to know what's going on.
Well, how are we going to get in there? We can't go back to the tunnels we were in before. I mean, that was way out in the woods and they were all overgrown. We'd have to find if they're stretching the air.
I'm with Sylvie's idea.
Can you just make us invisible?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of the razzle-dazzle. Talk our way out of it. You think you can't talk your way out of it, Mandris?
What do you mean?
Talk away out of what?
We just pretend to be guards. We have a dead thing that we want to get all locked up. We say, oh, hey, the Thornwash dropped this off before they went to go die. You don't say it like that.
Wait, do we think that the pixie's where the heart is? She can't be in two places at once.
They're all being held in the prison. In the vault.
Well, she's not going to be standing at the front door. I mean, maybe we can skirt around her so we're respecting Vandris's want to
What
protect her. And
if the thing we're dropping off is another pixie?
I don't think they would expect 4 just regular old guards to come in with a pixie.
What if it's a bad pixie?
Well, that's double what I just said. That's like worse.
What?
What? You just want to be a pixie, don't
No,
you?
because I'm saying the fast track to Lumi, they might put the pixie close to the other pixie.
You think they'd put 2 pixies
Not
together?
in the same cell,
Oh.
but in the same general area.
If they brought in a Floromancer to deal with a pixie, then if they only have one Floromancer, they might be in the same place.
We have to take this pixie to the Floromancer. There's something wrong with it. It's being weird.
How we... Okay. I don't know.
It's better than me trying to be a dead Grick.
I don't know if it is.
Can
Maybe
you
it
turn
is.
into a pixie?
I can make myself look like whatever I want.
What if they just say, pixie, and then try to blow you up?
Well, then they'll partially blow up Sylvie.
No, Sylvie. If anyone's going to get blown up, it's going to be people trying to blow us up, because I'm ready. I'm ready. I will admit, the magic that I got is a bit more of the I'm going to kill bad guys, less about the razzle-dazzle. But that's where I'm a Viking. I don't even know what that word means. I just heard that it was a really good, being good at something. You're a Viking, you know what I mean? You're like the 6th king.
Yeah, it's visual, kids.
A visual, you know what? The person who told me that said it was the 6th king.
No.
I was duped.
Yeah, I don't understand what 6 has to do with any of this.
But that's where I come in. If anyone needs to get blown up, that's my thing. Do you know how long it's been since
We don't need to kill anyone.
Or steal something. We haven't stolen anything.
How is with you?
This is
Orpheus is murdering and looting aside. Rodek, how do you feel about this plan?
I don't know how I'm going to convince anyone that I'm an elf. That's what I'm worried about.
That's
if I'm
fair.
invisible, I feel a lot better about it.
Let me see if I have.
Well, assuming invisibility is not an option.
Oh! Actually, you know what? Rodek, you know what? Would you like to be invisible?
You can make him invisible.
I can. I can make.
Can you make all of us invisible?
I can make one other person invisible.
Well, then I guess it should be the least elf-like of us.
You be guards. You be a pixie.
And the performer will also be a guard.
And you be a guard too, I guess.
I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to.
You
Put
know,
on a
that's
disguise.
actually not a bad
Not look
idea.
so.
Well, that'll be Sylvie's job.
That's Sylvie's job,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. So you can help
Yeah,
him, and then you can help him.
yeah.
I got you.
We'll just be.
I got you,
elves.
Rodek. That'll make you feel
And
better.
so that's actually a real good idea to have someone invisible, because when all the attention's on us, the visible person can go around and do sneaky things.
Oh boy.
I'm going to stay with all of you. But if you hear an invisible dwarf say kill, we start killing.
Did
You
we
understand?
settle on that as a word?
Aye.
We did, because if we're in a situation where we might be killing, then it's not too on the nose.
Okay. I just feel like if you scream kill, that's going to put people at the opposite of ease, where if you were like hamburger, they'd be like ha, and then we'd already be killing, you know? It didn't have to
And
be
you're sure
hamburger.
that this is the plan that you want to go with?
Aye. It is.
All right. Well, I trust you.
Damn it! Fine. Fine.
You have to change your voices. Make sure you aren't so obvious. Sound like a wood elf. You sound like a more different wood elf.
What in the... What does that even mean? Sound like a wood elf?
Just talk like the Thorn Mother.
I was supposed to talk a little bit. Well, she's not a wood elf either.
Oh,
I
don't
can't remember
know.
what a forest sounds like. I could try to be like her.
Oh, all right,
I think we
all
just
right.
have to sound like city folk, you know?
I think we just be like measured and say, oh, I love eating nut milk and eggplant.
Who's got the nut? Who's got the nut milk? I'm still not right.
You sound like a Thora, and you sound like Ronmir. Remember what he sounds like? He sounds kind of like you.
Yeah, he actually kind of does.
Let me just think about it.
And you have your role. What's our names? What's our inspiration?
What?
Yeah, we have to have
My
your
name is
names.
Vorum.
That's a good name.
Vorum?
What's your last name?
Vorum Nightbane.
Oh, I
It's
like
a little
it.
edgy.
A little bit, but I like it.
Okay, cool. I like it too. It's a little edgy, but I think it works.
As a
It works.
warden, I think an edgy name is good.
I think that I am from Maka, and I've never left the Thornwilds. And I think that I've never really gone beyond Maka very much. And I think that I'm a resolute defender, and I hate pixies. So if I kick you a little bit, no, that's a little much.
No, go ahead. Kick me. Rough me up.
Okay, I have a hatred of pixies.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm gonna bite you.
My family was killed in a pixie accident.
I'm gonna bite you
Is
so
that a thing that
hard.
happens?
I really don't know.
A pixie
It
incident?
could. If you kick a pixie hive and they all swarm you, you're in for it.
Did you poke a pixie nest with a stick up in a tree? They all
Yep.
swarm out and just...
So what's your name, Vandress?
Vorum Nightbane. Ooh, I like it.
It's been so long since we've done anything like this. I still have nightmares about wearing that alligator skin.
Oh,
Those were good times.
It just haunts my dreams.
Was I in a skin? I don't think so, but I wore one of them frogs once.
Okay. Do we have our characters?
I'll have
No,
to come
not
up with
yet.
something, I guess, on the way over.
What about like Woody?
Woody?
Woody.
Is that too on the nose?
It sounds a little offensive.
It's like you've never met a wood elf.
But that is definitely offensive.
Woody the wood elf?
Do you want to be Stony the dwarf?
Stony stone elf.
Ronak, that is very insensitive.
I don't know.
Who let you out of the house? Honestly.
Ronak, you're so offensive, you don't have a friend in me.
You like the wood?
I'm offended for you, Angela.
Oh, thank you.
Unbelievable.
Ooh.
Did Was there more to that thought?
Well, I was thinking his name could be Buzz.
I think I might need a little bit of a buzz before we do this, so maybe
Buzz
that's best.
Glow Ages.
Okay. I don't hate that.
Just think of it on the way.
I'm working on it.
Okay, well,
We need to get there. We need to find
Ellen,
this.
what's your name?
I'm thinking
you know
about
what
it.
you could do? You could look into your mind and see if there's a wood elf name generator you could roll on a table for.
That's right.
I know what my name is. My name's gonna be Twixie the Pixie.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
I like it because it rhymes.
Okay, you're
My last
Liliandra and
name-
you're Lithorius.
Lithorius.
You're
Yeah, that's
Lithorius.
good.
Well, actually
Name me, I'll
sounds
name
pretty
myself.
good.
You're Lithorius Dewspring.
I'm gonna.
Deuce
That's a terrible name.
No,
He's a spring the Duvan
I'm
Poo.
not going with my Deuce Spring.
Yeah,
All
too
right.
late. It's too
I
late.
like it.
I'm
My last name is Sprite Hollow. I'm Twixie Sprite Hollow.
You're Liliandra Starsong.
I love that. Nope, this
That's
is
way
my
better than
mission,
Deuce Spring.
and this
I
is
already
what you
found
want.
my name.
What's your name then?
What's
I
my
bet it
first name
sucks.
again?
It's
You're
May.
Lithorius.
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 Your name cannot be Maith. I'm not saying the name Maith anytime
Well, then I
ever.
guess you can just shut up, because that's my name now.
Okay, well, whatever.
Maith?
Maith. I like
We're
it.
all going to die. Well, look, at least you'll be
Twixie.
invisible. Maybe I want to be invisible.
Pixie.
Think more.
Sprite Hollow, so
Oh.
you can't be Hollow.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is a
You
bit-
can't be
Riverstone then.
Your
Maith-
name is Maith Riverstone?
Gosh, yes.
Why not just be Mace Windu?
I didn't think of it. Ventress, what did you land on?
I didn't land on anything. Orpheus just started calling me Litharius Deuce Spring.
Dude!
That's what I said, Deuce
No,
Spring.
it's Dewspring.
That's what I
You
said,
gotta
Deuce
say it.
Spring.
You gotta really emphasize this.
That's what I'm saying,
Good. I'm
Deuce
good.
Spring.
Good, I'm
I
glad.
could try to help you too.
Can I just go by Litharius? Is that...
Yeah, but
Too
you
much
don't
to
have
ask
a last
for?
name. What
I have a
about-
last name.
You
It's
should be-
Deuce Spring.
You can be Foul Sack.
Foul Sack? Is that a first or last name?
It's a first name.
Do you know a single wood elf named Foul Sack?
Letharius, don't listen to anything Maith says. Her name's Maith.
You could be.
So, I just want to say that we shouldn't be telling people our names because if they're like, oh, we don't have any guards here.
I agree. I'm not going to go around telling people my last name is Deuce Spring.
So
But
just
if for whatever reason they ask, if you're immediately able to spout off a name, but so we can't stick around, we're gonna have a much better eye.
Yes, of course. We're not telling people our names. We're just going to refer to each other as officers and privates and all of that good stuff. Deuce Spring.
knows that you need to be Mace Windu.
Done.
okay, we got Maith Windu and Lithorius
And
Dewspring.
Letharius Buzz Bright Time. I love that.
Various
Okay,
buzz
and
bright
well, we
times.
don't care about your name. You're
No,
prisoner.
But my name's Trixie the Pixie. Sprite Hollow.
Well, just don't act like you're scared or something, okay?
No, I'm gonna be
be
mean.
angry. Yeah.
I'm gonna bare my teeth. I'm gonna spit. I'm not
Should we
trying to claw.
like Rapper and Thorns or
At
whatever?
some point-
And, like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
there definitely has to be
definitely.
some sort of
Shackle me.
pixie protocol. I mean, they're calling a special personomancer to deal with that. Can't we just walk in with a pixie?
No, and because pixies are innately magic, we have to pretend like whatever shackles or manacles we put on me suppress my magic, even though they don't. But they have to think they do.
Sure,
got it.
of course.
Are you ready?
Okay,
I've never been less ready
I'm
for
letting
anything
you
in my whole life.
you do the talking, Vandross.
Oh, well, boy,
I want to
yes,
see what
yes.
you're made of here.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So, to do this, everyone who's going to be affected by my spell has to hold hands.
Okay.
Well, we'll be holding on to you.
Right, but I'm just saying to do the spell.
Wait, what's
Oh, and then we can let go.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
And
All
then
right.
we'll look like what we're supposed to look like, and then we can get into position.
How
so
long?
that's all
How
hands.
long do we have?
8 hours, but
Oh.
Rodek's only going to have 1 hour to be invisible. So should we include Rodek
Let's
in
include
this
him in
just
case it falls and he's an elf.
Then he's just elf.
Sorry,
okay.
buddy.
Are you ready?
As ready as we
Put
can
your
be.
right hand in, put your right hand out, put your right hand in, and then shake it all about. You do the semen dance, cause we're about to look like elves, and that's what it's all about. Ow!
And then we all look like what we look like.
Did she say semen dance?
Hey, look! I just got semen on you.
You know that G is so important.
Well,
I don't want to have semen cast on me.
You know she's from the swamp. They
prude.
pronounce things.
Get over yourself, Annulin. It's not that bad.
Wow! You guys look so cool. How do I look as a pixie? Do you like me? How do I look as a pixie?
So
You're like little now.
You're like a foot tall now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're a foot tall. Okay, let's
We're just
just
like prancing around.
all right.
This really suits you.
No,
Twixie.
can we at least take this a little seriously? So you all make your way through the city, trying to be as incognito as possible. And I'm gonna say, I need I say you get close enough to the vault, and you're trying to be as incognito as possible.
Make me invisible. Do it now.
And Orpheus looks at you and says, "Okay, big guy, calm down." And he snaps, and suddenly Rhoda disappears. And so, just in general for this, I need everyone who is just for a general like atmospheric performance check, and then I'll say advantage because of the semen, and then a stealth check.
I'm
for
advantaged
Rhoda.
because I'm invisible.
Yes.
We all rolling?
Yep.
We all get advantage on
Performance?
the stealth because we're in the
okay.
forest.
You guys are just performance. Only
Rhodex
Rhodex
does
is
stealth.
stealth.
Rodex just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
Can
you
I
get
twist this?
You're
Okay.
at your advantage, yeah.
Yeah, I already did it.
yikes.
Thank you, Chad.
I rolled a 29 for performance.
There we go.
Oh wow. Okay.
21.
So I'm gonna write these all down. So because dice actually matter.
You got
21.
29.
25.
21.
So 21, 29, 25. Okay, and what did we get?
21.
21.
All
Okay.
right. Not
So that'll just
bad.
be against the general insight of everybody, and then obviously if there are certain situations that arise, then we'll see what happens. Okay.
Roger.
So you actually, let me pull up and change the music. I think I'm kind of feeling something else here. It's not this.
And just so I state this, everything I say is in Sylvan going forward. So anyone who understands Sylvan will understand me. Sorry, Rodak.
So everybody
But
but
no one
Rodak.
else will, to keep up the illusion that I am an actual pixie.
Illusion.
So just poor invisible Rodak will be in the dark.
Oh no.
Wait, do I have tongues? Can I tongue
Have we
speak?
noticed being in Maka, did they speak in Common generally, or are they speaking in Elvish?
They're speaking in Elvish to each other, but
Nope, don't.
they're all speaking perfect Common to you as people who are you get that they're speaking Elvish or they're speaking Sylvan. So the Treants are speaking Sylvan to each other generally, but Common is not used unless they're speaking to everyone, and you get the sense that perhaps the Thorn Mother is speaking in Common to everyone because you are all there, but you're not sure why.
Rhoda, do you speak Elvish?
No.
I didn't think that was such an odd question. Sorry. Didn't mean to offend you.
Well, to your
Invisible.
point, if I know anything about putting on a charade, we should probably speak to them in Elvish.
That's right.
Even if he doesn't know what's going on wherever he may be right now. The rest of us will.
All right.
And it'll be more authentic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you speak Elvish?
I'm a pixie, so I'm just gonna speak in.
No, I mean, will you
Which is
understand
perfect.
us?
Let me think into my brain and think that I don't.
That's all right. If there's anything that we need to say in Sylvan, we can. It wouldn't be
right.
uncommon for the Wood Elves here to know Sylvan either.
Orpheus?
Right, Orpheus?
No, I think that's exactly right.
All right.
We,
Speak.
we can all speak and probably speak Common too. They were speaking in Common to each other.
I just
too.
think that it would be more authentic.
Yeah, if we're
Okay,
like...
that's fine.
I mean, how many languages do you speak? I thought you were some world famous
yeah,
researcher.
no, I know Sylvan. I know Elvish. I don't.
Well, then we're good. We'll speak in Elvish if we need to.
Do you
And
speak
Sylvan?
common? Never mind, that was stupid. Of course you don't.
Right. All right.
Exactly right.
So from here on
Dumb
out,
question.
we try not to use our names as little. Try to use our names as little as possible. Fake names as little as possible. And I will try to do what I can to get us where we need to go.
You lead the way, Lotharius.
No names.
Nope. But I'm still writing down Maith and Lotharius. Just in case.
Her name's Maith Winddew.
Winddew.
Maith.
It's like the
Wind
and the dew.
Okay. I would say then we would try to walk over and approach the vault,
You do that.
which is gonna be all locked up.
Put the pixie in thorns.
Oh.
That's part of the illusion, right?
Can I like
No.
use my arm thing to like?
Yeah, that's what I'm
like. I'll
well-
get her on one arm and
All right,
Yeah.
you guys,
somebody
you
get her on
guys,
the other.
you guys hold her. I'll try to lead the way. Is that all right?
Sounds good to me.
All
I'm
right.
gonna make it look like my wings are broken so that it makes sense that I couldn't be flying.
That's really smart.
It's imaginary, terrible.
It's imaginary terrible. Make haste.
Good old Maith haste.
You make your way up the winding,
Well, we make haste.
thorny
Make
pathway.
haste.
You make haste. As you make your way up, and you see that there's a number of those, every 50 feet or so, those incredibly tough-looking, angry, bitter-looking treants with thorns coming out of their bark, and they seem to be very vigilant as they're watching out. You see that there's a great number of elven guards as well stationed. You all make your way, and Orpheus kind of tugs, and he gets really into character, and he's tugging at the pixie, and he's following all of you, and you arrive, and Vandris, you're at the lead. Lotharius, you're at the lead.
Oh boy.
As
Thorius is a real chuckle fuck.
as the two guards at either entrance of
Oh,
this.
and I would have told them, do your very best to not let anyone touch you.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Because
We can touch
we
each
just
other, right?
appear this way.
Right. Upon
but,
close
but
inspection,
upon feeling us, they could feel that
it'll
we're
just
not what we seem.
fall apart.
Roger that.
So,
So you approach, and the two guards are they're staring at you, and they look at all of you, and then the pixie, and they look immediately concerned, and they look at you almost expecting an explanation as soon as you arrive.
I'm gonna lift my head up, and I look beaten up and bruised, and I'm just gonna start hissing and spitting at them and baring my little pixie teeth. And looking like really aggressive.
Will you settle down, Pixie?
What kind of pixie do you look
We're
like?
taking you to jail now.
What do you look like exactly? Actually,
Like a pixie. I would say that I am the green-skinned kind with. Let's do an autumn pixie.
okay. Autumn pixie.
I'm an
Roger
autumn
that.
pixie. I've got like bright red hair, like leaves outfits, and all reds and golds.
That is exactly what I needed to know. Thank you.
In Sylvan, dripping in venom, I look over my shoulder. Quiet you! And I look back at the guards.
I'm gonna beat your head in, you little shit!
Quickly,
your Sylvan.
this is extremely urgent. We need you to open the gates. We found another
It's
prisoner.
extremely urgent, blah, 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 blah,
We've
blah.
done what we could to keep it under wraps so that no one saw us come here.
Another pixie.
Correct.
How is that even possible?
We're not sure.
We don't know, just let us in.
Make a deception check at advantage.
Hey, you, look at you, hot stuff. How you wanna dance?
Hush you.
And I'll jerk the thorn whip.
Always trying
That
to
is
make
gonna
me
be
not
a
have any
10.
fun, huh? Breaking my wings wasn't enough for you, was it?
I got a 24. And I will say, we've been given orders to keep this quiet. We just knew that it was important and we needed to get here immediately.
They look at the pixie, and you get this sense that like this is far beyond what they're expecting, and they just look at each other and nod, and they both raise their arms. The large door opens up, and you know that this is a very tall hallways that a treant can stop through, but very closely. And so this massive archway opens, and the darkness looms within. You see very faintly those very evenly placed plant-like bulbs that are growing out of the hallway. Not the extravagant, elegant flowers, but very small, practical, tightly compact, bulbous plants that just glow with a very faint greenish blue hue.
As we're walking in, I'll motion to everyone who is there, meaning Orpheus and the pixie, and they don't see him, to kind of walk towards the gate. And I will shout up to the guard and say, "This is far beyond our pay grade. Who do we speak to bring this one to where the other one is?"
You make your way through, and you see, as once again, the winding hallways that go forward and then on either side, so that they're arching off all into this massive vault of thorny brambles and bark. As you call out, I need you to make a persuasion check for me.
Advantage or regular?
Advantage, yeah.
Oh, whoops. Well, I'm glad you said that. Persuasion's going to be a 30.
30? Yeah, you call out, and as you enter, you one of the guards internally marches up and says, "This, you know, almost down to the lower level," and he looks at the pixie, and he says, "Where are the others being held? Do you know where that is?"
I have very, very slight idea. Like I said, this is far beyond my pay grade.
I can tell. Let me... And he looks at the pixie. He looks at Sylvie. And he almost looks like he doesn't even want to get involved. As he says, "Give me a minute." And he walks off. And you see that there's a guard stationed at every number of doors in this prison, in this vault, and they're all looking at you, and they see the pixie, and they turn back, and eventually you hear the massive stomping that kind of shakes this entire hallway, as a thorny treant, completely bare, no hair or beard, just this. It almost looks like a sunken dead tree. But incredibly covered in spikes, as it looks at all of you and says,
Another one from one of autumn and summer. We'll have ourselves a full collection by the week's end.
Don't you know who I am, you big log of Twixie, the lead singer of the Pixie Chicks? Unhand me now, you knave!
He speaks in Sylvan back at you.
I got a lot of frolicking to do here.
If you don't watch that mouth, you're going to regret it.
If you don't watch this mouth, you're gonna regret it.
He looks at you, and he sticks out a fist, and a huge number of thorns sprout out very quickly, and then he restrains himself, and he says,
We'll go to where the Floormancer is. You will be sorry. You have no idea.
Thank you. We'll be right behind you.
And as with that 30 persuasion check, he guides you through, as you have a direct pathway, and with each step, the hanging lighted bulbs shake slightly, but the doors themselves, the knotwork of thorny vines, remained incredibly tight. And you hear, similarly again, that you hear the voices sound like humanoids, some growls, strange gibberings, and you make your way through, and you realize now that had you try to break in or entirely stealth in and not be guided, that this place is a pure labyrinth. Of it feels like you're almost inside of a thorny thicket, a maze of tunnels going off in all directions. But the way that you're going, that this thornbark treant is guiding you through, he's leading you exactly where you need to go. That you could have gotten lost in here for hours, but you make your way deeper and deeper and deeper, and soon the lights get fewer and far between. The doors get fewer and far between, and you hear low guttural growls or just complete emptiness behind the doors as you stop. And Rodok, you're doing your best to keep up and being as quiet as possible. And I think, and I'll say that as you make your way through, you hear you hear the heavy breathing. Once you get down several levels, and you're not sure how many levels you're down, you hear as out from around one of the tunnels, you see a large bear as it sniffs in the air. And Vandris,
no!
You remember the bear. That you had not liked the look of him, and he didn't like the look of you. As,
Son of a bitch. That fucking bear.
As it sniffs and starts to look in your direction, as it paws closer, cautiously.
Do I notice this?
I would say it'd be very obvious.
Yeah, it's a fucking
lets out
bear.
a low growl.
I'm gonna cast Charm Monster on it.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check to see how stealthily you do this. I'm gonna roll a perception check for the
Doesn't care about
treant.
seeming, does it?
Seeming is not concentration.
Okay, I roll for both the treant and the bear. Advantage for the bear.
16.
16. As you, and he needs to roll a charisma saving throw.
Wisdom saving.
Wisdom. Okay.
Bears are pretty wise.
That is a 9.
Oh man, that succeeds.
And as you look out, a poof of magic bursts out in a flash, and suddenly the bear is growling, and there's a sense of understanding or suspiciousness at you, Vandris, and then suddenly it goes. And its eyes gloss over. However, the burst of magic, the treant ahead of you turns as,
And what's going on back there?
as it turns to look. As it,
Do you have that pixie under control?
Oh, she's a wily one, but we're keeping her wrapped up tight.
Absolutely, yes. We're keeping a close eye. Knock it off with your shenanigans.
Shut up, you.
If you didn't have me wrapped up so tight, you'd be dead by now, buddy.
Just have to check at advantage.
That's going to be a 34.
He eyes you
not so good.
suspiciously,
Roll a natural
but
20.
Damn.
he doesn't notice at all as you just have the bear turn around and walk away. I presume that's you're just sending him off. As the bear just walks away obediently. And what could have been a very bad situation is the treant seems to doesn't even
It's no
notice
problem
the
at
bear.
all. Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, it's barely an inconvenience. Barely an inconvenience. As the treant said,
Well, don't let it escape like the other one almost did.
as he stomps forward, and as you make your way deeper and deeper, and soon where all of these different tunnels are going off in different directions in the strange maze of the thorny thicket of the vault, there are fewer and fewer tunnels. And then you finally arrive, you feel like you're deep into the earth here, and then there is one last chamber that is just the last one that's illuminated, and then the pathway continues further down to where there are even steps that go down into complete darkness, and you arrive at the last chamber as the treant turns and says,
The floor mancer will know what to do. She'll be talking, hopefully more than the other one.
and punches the top of the door, and the thorns shoot out of its hand into the door, and it slides down into the knotwork and rips the door open as a small circular chamber is revealed to you, but it's gleaming with light, and the chamber is relatively small in its width, but the ceiling goes up very high, just like everything else in this chamber, and you see the flash of what looks like a brilliant golden light that bathes the room as the thorn treant almost pushes you in and slams the door again and closes behind you. And as you enter, you see that there is on the walls of this place there are those thorns jutting out on all sides, similar for the handholds and the shackles. But you see that there's also a large number of strange-looking plants and flowers. One looks like a Venus flytrap, another looks like a strange carnivorous potted plant. And the golden light is coming from a large golden rose that is blooming at the very center of this space, that's shining light on everything. But all of the plants, you realize, are giving up this strange, toxic, poisonous light from them as well, as they're all shimmering. And there is a treant that is standing there that is looming over the golden rose and channeling some sort of magic into it. And you see puffs and puffs of what look like pollen, but as they drift towards you, you get the sense that there is something that you don't want to touch about the pollen that is bursting out, and there is something squirming inside of this golden rose within the petals. And the treant turns to you, and it's also this one isn't covered in thorns. There might be several here and there, but this one has its entire face and head is covered in these bright purple flowers that grow out that almost look like they're poisonous. As it turns to you and its glowing eyes look at the pixie that is Sylvie and the rest of them, and says, "Another one."
Yes, that would seem to be the case. I please apologize for my apprehension. As I've been saying many times today, this is far beyond my pay grade. We just knew of the importance and did as we were directed to bring her immediately here.
Well, I have just the one for her.
As this treant leans in and surveys you, Sylvie, and then turns to one of the plants and raises its hand, and you see that one of the this massive, strange Venus flytrap looking thing opens up, and it's absolutely covered in this strange purple pink sap or some sort of goo within it, as it channels this magic from its massive hands, as all of its flowers all over it start to glow, as the pulsing from the golden rose at the center seems to dim a little bit, and there's a bit of quiet, or not nearly as much struggling that comes to this golden rose. And then the treant looks at you and put her in.
Well, wait, you mean to just put her into that plant? Is that what you did to the other one here with this golden rose?
That will contain her.
It will contain her, and it will make her talk. I have this one almost talking.
You know, you could just try to ask me the questions. I might answer it for you.
I think we're going to start with my process. You are a prisoner. Put her in.
That seems so ineffective. Y'all are so weird.
Orpheus looks at Vandris.
While she's talking to while Sylvie was talking to the thing, I'm gonna send a message using the cantrip message to Sylvie in my head to her and say, is there any way that we can make it look like you've gone in the plant? Can you change the illusion? And then she can respond telepathically.
Make a sleight of hand check, sleight of hand check to see how stealthy you were there.
Sure.
I will say back just in my head.
Hold on. I did it with advantage. I apologize.
Yeah, Toots, go ahead and
Do
make
it.
it look like you put it in. I'll struggle a lot, and then as it opens its mouth, you'll have to get in line sight, and then I'll invisibility myself.
My sleight of hand was a 20.
There's 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, I can only be invisible for about a minute, so make sure that you figure it out.
I will do as she says. So begin to make it look like I'll turn to I'll turn to the other two guards and say, all right, you heard her. Throw her into the plant.
You got it.
Yes, of course.
And then what I'm gonna try to do is with my, I'm assuming the way you described the outfits that the guards are wearing, we have like some sort of like a cape or something.
Yeah,
like,
you have a cloak that's going
Okay.
down. It's not nearly as all encompassing, but it is a.
So what I'll try to do is
cape, yeah.
position myself in a way where as they are putting her in the plant, and then I'll send another message to Sylvie saying, once you're invisible, hide in my cloak.
I'll respond back with,
Yeah, let me just dimension door into your cloak.
and that's what I'll do instead.
Okay.
I hope you don't overshoot my cloak. Or like dimension door inside my body, we like explode into viscera.
Orpheus, get over here, and he's, you stupid pixie, you've disgusted me. I'm going to enjoy seeing you. Shut up! As he
And I go in with
yanks.
my teeth and I just bite into him.
Yeah, you
Quickly before she gets
No.
away.
And they're going to both shove you into this plant,
And as its mouth
its
is
mouth, and you
closing
see,
around
and you see as
me.
the treant's hand glows, and it's gnarled. It's even more gnarled than the thorn treant. The plant starts to snap its jaws close, and you
Like
feel
the very last moment, I'm gonna cast Dimension Door right beneath Vandris's cloak.
okay. You feel as if there's a horrible mind-bending. You feel the intensity and the toxicity of the
shit.
sap that's in this plant,
Oh,
and it
no.
snaps shut. And you dimension door out. I need you. I'll say advantage because it's assisted, but I'm going to need a stealth check or sleight of hand check from Sylvie to see how well she does. And she rolled very well with her insight.
Oh no.
22.
She got a 21.
Thank God for that 19.
As you blink and vanish, you manage to conceal her in your cape, and she seems to be sickly enjoying the work that she's doing as it starts to.
By the thorn wilds, what
As-
do you do down here?
You don't get down here.
No, that's not the right voice.
You don't get down here very much, do you?
No.
No,
never.
Well, you low-level guards, go back from whence you came. I have it here.
And she takes her hands and blasts both plants with a strange magic that's glowing from her hands as both of the plants now pulse.
We're so interested, though. I've never seen this. Can I take a look at the other pixie?
You are not supposed to do any more with this prisoner. I have been given strict orders to not let it out of my sight.
It doesn't have to go out of your sight. It doesn't even have to come out of the rose. I'm just curious.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage, please.
Persuasion. it's 14. What do we think?
Thanks, Chad.
I get that gives me one roll though. Right.
It gives you one extra roll.
Yeah. Just get
But
another
I
die.
have to take that.
You have to take the
Result.
The
worst
lower of the
results.
two,
lower
or
of-
no?
Yeah.
So basically, you'll roll 3, and you can.
You just get another die roll, so this is another chance.
So I can re-roll my lower dice,
Yes,
basically.
Yes.
Okay. That's terrible.
She turns to you and says, "Why are you still here? Do you not have your orders?"
Come now. You heard her. We need to go.
Curiosity killed the cat and all that.
And she looks at you impatiently. Are you not go? You know how to open the doors, don't you?
Absolutely, we do.
We're just a little shaken up, that's all.
Make a deception check.
Did the door close behind us?
Yes.
That's going to be a 28
A 28.
for deception.
Okay.
Do you ever just feel like you should murder things?
She seems to believe you. Hold on a sec.
Hamburgers!
None of this is common. Rhoda hasn't understood a single fucking word
That is correct.
that has been said this entire
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, I can't just switch to common for no reason. That would be metagaming.
She then leans down and says, "Well, why are you still here then? I have to continue my work. You sure are curious for low-level guards here. How new are you? I haven't seen you around here."
So I'm taking my fist and I'm like punching at the keyhole to be like, well, my thing, it doesn't seem to be working. This is so bizarre. I've never had this happen before. I'm trying to open the door. We're like locked in.
We're locked in. They're trying to get us to leave, but we don't know how to use the
And
door.
we haven't seen the other pixie.
And I just now realized that Rhoda doesn't.
He hasn't heard a single word of
understood
anything we've said.
because it hasn't been in common.
I'm trying to open the door. I don't even know if I know how. I'm just trying. Like after what I saw the other Treons do. Oh no, I don't understand. Yeah, Treons.
Oh, Auntie Tree. Auntie and Uncle Tree.
Grandma?
As she leans in, I need you to make a persuasion check.
I wouldn't even know how to open the door, right?
Yeah. I would say.
I'm gonna go up next to Vanders while he can go ahead and do his deception. I'm going to whisper to him
It's not a natural
in
crit
common.
fail, then I've got another 24. It's the lowest I can roll.
She rolled low as she leans in and says, "I'm getting impatient. Why are you interrupting my work?
Let me help you." And I'll start punching at the door as well. Vanders, we've got to get out of here.
I don't
If
know
I
how to
get
open
out of here, I mean we need to end this now.
I don't know how to open the door.
I don't think we need to open the door. I think we need to... I don't know why I'm still using this voice. This isn't my natural voice.
What are you suggesting?
I don't know. This thing is wrong, and I think we should just fight it. Sylvie, are you in there? Can you hear me too?
Yeah, I can hear you. Want me to pull him over or something?
I haven't heard a thing out of Rodek. I don't know where he is.
You might be the...
She leans forward and she says, "There's something wrong here. I'm going to call the guards." And she turns and she entirely turns her attention from the two pods as she turns towards the door, and you see that there's a large bulb out, and she looks like you have completely botched this, and you have one chance to attempt something before she triggers an alarm.
I got nothing.
I'm gonna turn around and with my thorn whip just try to rope her up. I don't know how big she is.
She's a huge creature.
None of this has been in common, correct?
No. But I mean, you get the sense now that she's very upset. That she's very upset.
I would at least like get a branch on her, branch.
I would say-
don't know what they
am
have.
going to shoot forward out of Vandross's cloak with a very small yell and attach myself to her and cast banishment.
Okay.
She has to make a charisma saving throw, please.
You do that. I need you to make a.
It's actually a 60 feet range, so I look at her and cast banishment.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say, I don't think you don't have to
Yeah.
touch
I
her.
would say.
can though, if you
can
like.
you make a?
I still want to like
a performance check. I want you to make a performance check for me to see if you can make it look like she's coming from the plant.
Yeah, sure. I think that's a 19. I think my performance is it's a 19.
Okay. She fails as you leap out looking like the autumn pixie. She has been so distracted by going to sound the alarm that suddenly you just appear in front of her and look at her, and she looks down at you and suddenly
And I'll go, bye-bye! And I cast bye-bye!
Oh, wisdom saving throw? What's a banishment?
It's a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw? Roger that.
Yes.
This tree is not charismatic.
She fails horribly.
So she is banished.
And
for the
so
next minute.
minute.
And if I don't drop it and she's not from this plane, she doesn't come back.
Oh, interesting. She might have to find it's a very scenic route to get back there.
You leap out, and she's like, "What is going?" And then
Gone.
a pop happens, and the massive tree suddenly disappears out into complete thin air.
So I'm just gonna real quick look around. Are we alone?
You guys are completely alone now.
Sylvie,
What took you so long?
what was that?
Caused pixie chaos, but then it's a pixie breakout and start blowing stuff free, Lumi.
We don't even know if it is Lumi.
Just free the pixie. We need to cause chaos. It's not us, it's the pixies.
I don't have any magic left now.
Oh dear.
Did someone say chaos? Did someone say chaos?
Let's do
Wait,
it!
shouldn't we at least make sure the other pixie goes, go, fine, let it rip?
Go!
And suddenly just all just fire bolts and
And I am going to focus on this spell for a minute
yeah.
so that it does not break.
As
And hopefully she doesn't come back.
as he snaps and prismatic spray as a burst of color erupts into the entire chamber is ignited and blasts, and there's all sorts of absolute chaos as some of the plants blink in and out of existence, and they are shriveled, and the entire place is completely wrecked. As a minute passes, you wait. And nothing happens.
Gone. That poor bastard is somewhere in the fucking cosmos.
They're back to their native plane.
But they're gonna be like, how the fuck do I get back to Avengers?
You imagine somewhere in the Feywild, this Trian is like, well, shit.
right. Oh my god, think about how many, hundreds of thousands of years that thing's been gone, or, who knows, right? And it's
Hundreds and hundreds of years.
Use your Eldritch Blast to destroy the gate.
we need to be more, time out.
If we need to get out, we've got my magical paint. We can make a door.
Right, at first we need to find out what the hell is in that gold rose, and we need to be careful because it feels toxic.
How do we get it out?
I don't know. Do you want to draw a door on the golden rose?
I don't know. Does that work?
If we draw a door on the golden rose, we open in this big bad thing.
I'm gonna blight it.
Okay.
I almost blighted that thing. Man, she's
Is
lucky.
it gonna hurt the pixie?
It's a plan. I'm gonna target.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Thank you for letting me do what I do best.
Please don't kill whatever's inside.
And it just immediately withers, shrivels, and there's a final as it bursts, and you're all coughing. And I won't make you roll, but it seems like a horrible,
He won't make us roll.
a horrible, toxic, mind-bending pollen within this golden rose, and it shrivels and withers and wilts. And as you see the petals falling away, you see a tiny crumpled form within it, the same size as Sylvie now, no more than a foot long, as crumpled wings of a seafoam green and a pink, and you see the platinum blonde hair draped over her face, as you see a pixie in this rose, and it is your former familiar, Lumi. And that's where we'll end the session.
I knew it.
Oh my god!
So the question becomes why? Dun dun dun.
We're not done though.
We're not done.
We're not done. What's next?
Evangelist and
Oh
Chill.
my god!
Thank you so much, by the way, for the raid, Lindy.
Yes.
Apologize for not calling
Oh my
you. Calling
Horrible
you.
Tomato resubscribe. We got Brody, follow the channel.
Thank you so
Bard
much.
Time Gaming, follow the channel.
Thank you.
And again, thank you so much for the raid, Lindy.
Thank you,
It's good to
Yeah,
see
thanks,
you.
Lindy.
It's very good to see you.
Even though we can't see your face.
I'm a picturing it.
We know it's there
I'm
somewhere in the
picturing
world.
your face. It's like right here. Oh, yay.
So what's Evangelist and Chill?
Evangelist and Chill is where we hang out, we chat with you. It's Evangelist and Therapy. We unpack,
right.
we say our favorite moment, we talk about the session, we
Answer
have theories,
questions.
answer your questions, we chat with you all. We love answering your questions, and it's a subscriber-only perk, but you get a 5-minute preview if you are a sub, so you can kind of check in as she rips off the doll heads.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. And so we'll be going late. Thanks for staying up with us, everybody. It's been a blast as always.
Same time,
we're
same
cut over.
We're
place.
gonna cut over in a second. Get ready to
We'll be
refresh.
back next
Same
next
time,
Tuesday.
same place.
Cutting over.
See you guys.